right, so mine's working. We did test runs. Right, we all did test runs to make sure. Okay, so there is a little delay. Right, so mine's working. We did test runs. Yeah, there we go. So now we all did test runs to make sure. Okay, so we are on. If you just joined us, welcome to the University Transfer Fair for the Inland Empire Colleges. We are glad to have you here. We are just going to wait a few more minutes before we get started. Thank you. Before we get started. Before we get started. All right, welcome everyone. Again, welcome to our Region 9 Inland Empire Community College Virtual Transfer Fair. We have over 70 universities here in attendance to help you transfer. Today, we have in room 3, here we have American Jewish University. We have Grand Canyon University, we have UCLA, and we have University of Redlands. Again, welcome to our fair, and we are going to go on ahead and get started. The way that it's going to work is that we will have each university present 5 minutes for 5 minutes, and then each, you can type in your questions in the chat box. I will be moderating those questions, and then after each university presents the next one, after each one presents, the next one will go. And for a total of 4 presentations, we will have a Q&A session after all 4 have presented, and then we'll take a short break and we'll start all over again so that you are able to join other rooms and hear from other universities that you're interested in. Again, welcome to our fair, and we'll go on ahead and get started is American Jewish University here? So we'll go on ahead and get started with Grand Canyon University with Erica Gonzalez.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Let me go ahead and pull up some good information to share with you guys. Play. Good. How's everyone doing? I hope good. My name is Erica Gonzalez. I'm a local university counselor within Grand Canyon University, and I present our online programs. I am accompanied today with our coworker, Jasmine. Jasmine, are you there?
I'm here. Good morning, everyone. This is Jasmine Creighton, University Admissions Counselor with Grand Canyon University as well.
Awesome. So to share a little bit about Grand Canyon University, we're founded back in 1949. We have a beautiful, ever-going traditional campus out in Phoenix, Arizona. And that's something that Jasmine can kind of speak a little bit more. We have over, I want to 8,000 students, and it's an ever-growing number, and we offer over 250 programs. Now, with that, we also do traditional and, like I mentioned, online. Now, on here with the GCU degree programs, as you can tell, we break it down for a little bit of everyone, right? So we have engineering, education, technology, doctoral students, business, and so forth, helping you being able to transfer and how to be successful. There's a lot of different resources that we are able to provide for you guys, going from a LOPES evaluation. A lot of questions we usually get is, what am I transferring over? How much time do I have left? And what that cost breakdown looks like. And that's actually a free resource that we provide to you guys simply by giving us your unofficial transcripts. Within 24 hours, we're able to let you know what transferred in, what you have left, and when your expected graduation date would be. Any questions so far?
You are good so far. We have 23 watching.
Okay, awesome. Sounds good. Now, anything you want to share, Jasmine?
Yeah, so I just wanted to let you guys know that just some highlights with GCU. We do not have any out-of-state tuition, so you would be looking to pay the same amount whether you're in-state or out-of-state. And for the last 11 years, we've actually been on a tuition freeze. So our tuition has remained the same, and so far it looks like it's going in that same direction. So no, we don't foresee any tuition increases at this time.
That's perfect. Within our online programs and why they're so popular are going to be with working individuals. Sometimes it's really hard to attend a traditional campus when you're having to drive out, stay in class, go home, and do homework. Within our online programs, it's one class at a time. It's continuous, and you have a graduation team with Grand Canyon University that schedule your classes. So you don't have to worry about getting the right class in order to graduate on time. You have a whole group of individuals with Grand Canyon University ensuring that you do graduate on time, providing different resources from the library, a writing hub, tutoring service, and your own counselor. You don't have to dial a 1-800 number to be able to get in contact with someone. You would have our direct numbers to be able to answer those questions for you. Awesome. And how to stay in contact with us. If any of you do have any questions, you're interested in either flying out and seeing our beautiful campus out in Phoenix, Arizona, you can reach out to Jasmine. Her information is right there. And if you're thinking of going online, you want to stay local, you're working full time and you want to make sure that you're still meeting your educational goal, you're able to reach out to me. I'm able to answer any questions that you may have and connect. I am local, so I'm even able to meet you in person if that's something that you want to do.
So Erica, can you tell them a little bit about the area that you're in? I'll go first. So when we say that we're local, we're actually, even though we are recruiting for Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, Arizona, we're local to our territory. So that means that, I'm located in the Palm Springs area, and I service students from San Bernardino Valley College all the way to Palos Verde and Copper Mountain College. So we, visit our schools. Prior to COVID, we were on campus hosting events, doing classroom presentations, and hopefully we can ramp some of those back up this year, but we're definitely available to meet with you one-on-one with you and your families. We provide a free estimated budget sheet. So we're going over exactly what it costs to attend GCU. We offer generous transfer scholarships based on your GPA. So, all of these are tools that are available to you in order to help you and your family, determine your educational needs and how we can best, support you in that goal.
We do have a question, Erica and Jasmine, for Grand Canyon University. Do you have an ASL program, American Sign Language, or Deaf Studies, something similar to that?
Not online that I'm aware of.
No, and not on campus, not at this time, but great question.
Could you give us an idea about cost of attendance for students, for transfer students?
Yeah, so for on campus, it's about $82.50 per semester. And then again, we definitely offer generous transfer scholarships based on the student's GPA.
Yeah, and for online, it's going to depend on which bachelor's you're transferring into. It can range anywhere from like 4 to 25, I want to say, to 475. But if you do want to know what the exact cost of that program is going to be, send over your unofficial transcripts. I go ahead and send that over to my team. Within 24 hours, I can have that free pre-evaluation for you, letting you know what you transferred in, what you have left, and what that cost breakdown. Within that cost breakdown, it's going to include tuition, books, and fees. So we present everything to you. We like being very upfront. And how Jasmine talked about, we also offer scholarship opportunities. So we'd love to get to know you guys a little bit more, see if there are any scholarship opportunities that would benefit you in the long run.
Oh, and the most important thing, we offer free campus trips to come and visit. So we have a Discover trip. It's absolutely free to you. I promise you, the only thing that the only criteria that you would have to meet is being admissible to the school, so that if you do go and fall in love with it, which I'm pretty certain you are, you would be admissible to campus. And so we fly you out. We take care of all of the travel arrangements. We fly you out to campus. You have an opportunity to stay overnight. You get to sleep in the dorms. You get a food card to eat on campus. You have the opportunity to meet with current and prospective students. You would take part in an event on campus. So sometimes that can look like attending a basketball game. Sometimes, during the summer, it was like maybe a pool event. I think I just signed someone up for like a late night, midnight madness. So really cool opportunity to see the campus, learn more about your program, ask questions, and kind of be able to see, to get the experience and see what it would be like to be eloped for a day. And then, if you love it, we can just continue to move on from there. So we have one application process. You apply, it's absolutely free to apply. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes, and it's very seamless. It's one application. You submit your transcripts. Oftentimes we can even get you and a decision within a day. So really smooth process. You'll work with myself or with Erica, throughout each of the steps. So admissions, evaluation, financial aid. We're pretty much a one-stop shop. So you would have a great relationship with us, and we really work with you, up until you're here on campus, to get you started. And so it's really nice because we get to build that special relationship and bond with our students. And then, on your end, it's really nice because you only have that one point of contact.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. We appreciate you sharing Grand Canyon University and the opportunity for students to be able to fly out and spend some time with at Grand Canyon. And they will love it. I've been there.
Yeah, awesome. And thanks, Erica, for teaming up with me on this. I appreciate it.
Yes, of course. My pleasure.
So we're going to move on to University of Redlands, Kylie Webb, and some of the questions that we did not get a chance to answer. We will do so after UCLA, which is the presenter after University of Redlands. So stay here and we will get to your question.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Kylie Mulder. I'm the Associate Director of Transfer Recruitment here at the University of Redlands. So really your local private not-for-profit institution, not too far from Crafton, but some of you that might be tuning in, maybe you're not originally from the area. So just a little bit about the institution. We were founded in 1907. So we've got some longstanding roots here in the city of Redlands. We're a private liberal arts institution. We really specialize, though, also in pre-professional programs. A lot of times students will think, what is a liberal arts school? And really in layman terms is that at the end of the day, you will be a very well-rounded student by the time that you graduate from the institution. We have over 40 different majors and programs to choose from. Obviously, our time is limited, so we don't have the whole list of those degrees, but our most popular majors, not to be misconstrued with the term impaction, but just sheer popularity of programs at the U of R, specifically for transfer students, communication sciences and disorders. So if you're thinking about speech pathology, audiology, our psychology program, the sciences. We have a new program called Health, Medicine, and Society. So anyone who is thinking about healthcare, and it could be healthcare in a really, really broad system, whether you do want to go on to medical school, or maybe you want to advocate for rights and access to healthcare, Health, Medicine, Society is a really great program and really integrates a lot of the different curriculum on our campus. We have programs within our School of Education. So anyone who's thinking of teaching, that's a great program. And we have a really wonderful pathway from the College of Arts and Sciences, which I represent, into the School of Education for a master's degree in education or a credential. So I know we're limited on time. So just a couple things about specifically the College of Arts and Sciences, what I represent. We do have a transfer admission guarantee program with students from Crafton Hills. If you have a minimum of 24 transferable units, you've taken English composition, a math course, and a minimum GPA of a 3.0, you essentially will have automatic admission to the University of Redlands. If you're following the IGETC or CSU GE Breadth, that is something that we honor. And so if you will be GE certified at the time of your departure at Crafton, we honor that, and that will essentially blanket all of our general education requirements at Redlands. We are a FAFSA-based institution. Many times I think students are very cautious about applying to a private institution because you see something like a sticker price. So if you look at our tuition, it's close to $55,000, and that's something that if anybody is paying that full price out of pocket, means they're doing pretty well in life. So we do offer financial aid, and very generous financial aid offers to our transfer students. The average award, as you can see, is $43,952. And we offer scholarships that are based upon your college academic performance. And that scholarship can range from $10,000 to $23,000. That's renewable every year that you're at the institution, as long as you maintain a B average. If any of you are in an honors program, we are a PTK member institution. And so we also offer a $5,000 scholarship for PTK scholars. You can apply twice a year. So we're on the semester system. We accept applications for both fall and spring. Unlike kind of our state institutions, we actually will have you apply a semester prior to the start of that semester. So if you're looking at fall 22, you actually won't need to submit your application until the 1st of March of 22. I always encourage, submit your application earlier than that, maybe in January. But right now we're currently reviewing applications for spring 22. You can use the common application for transfer, or we have our own specific Redlands Transfer app. Each can be free. I say it can be free in the sense that the common app, as a Crafton student, you do qualify for the Redlands fee waiver, and then the Redlands application, there is no fee. I am the contact information, I'm the contact for University of Redlands. Again, the College of Arts and Sciences. So thinking of our very traditional programs, over 40 that we offer. We are back in person, and we actually have been since spring with a very limited amount that was okayed by the county. So we are offering in-person campus tours. I'm still offering my appointments virtually. So I have a calendar that you'll be able to access, and you can schedule a one-on-one appointment via Zoom or by phone, but you are welcome to come to campus for an official tour led with a tour guide. My colleague couldn't be here from our School of Business, Perla Ramos, but we do have a similar guarantee program for Crafton Hills students to our School of Business. The School of Business offers very flexible course offerings. They are not on the semester system. They have multiple start terms throughout the school year. You're still considered a full-time student. You're taking classes though just one night a week, and every 8 weeks your class changes. So it's a great program that really is mapped out for the 2 years for you in order to earn your business degree at the University of Redlands. And like I shared, Perla Ramos would be your point of contact if you were interested in learning more about our School of Business and completing that bachelor's program, also kind of in a hybrid setting as well. So they are offering some online courses where the College of Arts and Sciences, again, we're completely back in person. So if you'd like to learn more about the University of Redlands, my hope is that maybe you can join me on a Zoom meeting, or you can meet me on campus. Obviously we'll meet outside, but I'll put my contact information. I don't know, Brianna, can they see it in the chat? I didn't realize it was on YouTube Live.
Yeah, they also have your contact information from the Google site, but if
Oh,
you type it in,
perfect.
I will go on ahead and put it on YouTube Live. So
Great.
if you just type it in in Zoom.
All right, well, I'll pass it
And
over to the next
and we
one.
do have one question. What is PTK?
Phi Theta Kappa. It's an honors program that many community colleges will offer students. And if there's not a chapter at Crafton, you obviously have your honors program as well. I believe you can join Phi Theta Kappa without having a chapter at your institution.
Got it. Thank you. And we're moving on to UCLA.
Thank you so much. I know we have a little bit extra time, so I will take my time when it comes to talking about certain things. But I want to welcome you all today on this beautiful Tuesday morning. My name is Karen Ortiz, and I am one of the admission representatives for UCLA. I actually graduated from UCLA myself a few years ago. So, I really do love talking about our institution. So today I'm just going to cover some great information regarding transfer admission. I'm going to talk about some resources on campus, and definitely if you have any question, I have some of my colleagues actually ready to answer anything through the chat. And of course, we'll have some time at the end to answer any questions. So let me go ahead and get started with my presentation. So to begin the presentation, I just want to talk a little bit about the minimum transfer requirements. And to clarify, these are the UC minimum requirements. So something that I want to emphasize today is that being part of the University of California system means that we have 9 undergraduate campuses all throughout California. UCLA is located in Los Angeles, of course, but we have different campuses, right, that are located all through California. So through the UC application, you're able to apply to as many of the UC campuses as you wish. That is such an amazing resource, right? Because you get one application for 9 different University of California campuses. So something that I do want to emphasize today to really take advantage of that. But to go over the minimum requirements, what we're asking you to complete as the UC system, and I want to clarify that I will be referring to the University of California as UC. So if you hear me say UC, that's what I'm referring to, the University of California. So again, to just go over these requirements, we are asking you to complete the minimum of 60 semester or 90 quarter transferable units by the end of spring before you transfer. So we do need you to be at junior level standing, which again means to complete the minimum of 60 semester or 90 quarter transferable units by the end of spring before you transfer. We're also asking you to complete the 7-course pattern, which is 2 transferable English courses, 1 transferable math course, and then 4 transferable courses in at least 2 different subject areas. This is known as the 7-course pattern. For the UC system, we do ask transfer students to maintain a minimum GPA of a 2.4 or higher. I want to clarify, this is for the UC system. I will definitely talk about UCLA specifics on the next slide. And if we have any questions coming in the chat, if I'm not seeing them right now, don't worry, we will talk about them in a few slides or at the end of the presentation. So I want to talk about UCLA specifics. So for UCLA again, right, you are applying to the University of California system, but if you are applying to UCLA, I do have some recommendations, and I want to talk a little bit about the UCLA selection. For UCLA, the major that you're selecting is very important for admission purposes. So what that means is that depending on the major that you select, there will be specific major prerequisites that you will need to complete for admission purposes. So something very, very important to keep in mind, right? You will have to select a major and you will have to complete certain coursework depending on that major that you're selecting. So something very important that I want to emphasize. When it comes to some resources that I want to share with you, we do have the transfer admission guide. So the transfer admission guide will go over all of the 125 majors we offer on campus. And if you're attending a California community college, you can also use assist.org. Assist.org tells you what courses at your community college are transferable to the UC system. Again, 2 of your best friends when it comes to transferring to UCLA. And some of my colleagues will share the links in the chat. So again, just look out for those links for the transfer admission guide and for assist.org. There are 2 really good resources. For UCLA, we do encourage students to maintain a GPA of a 3.2 or higher. Something that I want to clarify is that depending on your major, this information might vary, this recommendation will vary regarding your GPA. The transfer admission guide has all of this information, major, GPA recommendation. So again, a really, really good resource that I want to emphasize for all of you to access today. And again, I want to emphasize that at UCLA, we do offer over 125 majors. Every time I say that, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. You really do have options when it comes to different undergraduate majors on campus. So we just want to make sure that you're exploring the different options. And we want you to know that there are going to be majors, right, that you're interested on the UCLA campus. So the transfer admission guide, again, goes over the full list of majors, of minors on our campus. And they also go over the different major prerequisites that you will need to complete before transferring to UCLA. But I do want to emphasize that again, over 125 majors, so you do have a lot of different options. So something that I really like to share, also, again, how I shared, I did graduate from UCLA myself, but when it comes to admitting our students, we also want to make sure that once you're on campus, you have the resources to succeed. So we don't only want to admit you, right, to UCLA, we also want to see you graduate. And in order to see you graduate, we have a lot of great resources and centers on our campus that are going to allow you to get the different resources, scholarships, mentorship, whatever you're looking for on our campus, you will have those options. So I want to talk a little bit about the UCLA Bruin Resource Center. So the UCLA Bruin Resource Center is a center on campus that provides a lot of great resources and services for our different students. So some of the identities that the resources will cover, and I'm going to go over the list. The Bruin Resource Center offers resources for students that identify as current and former foster youth, students with dependents, student veterans, AB 540 undocumented students, students in recovery, and formerly incarcerated and or system impacted students. Again, these are just some of the identities and resources that we have available. We also have a transfer center on campus. So once you get to our campus, there will be a center that is for transfer students. They have so many amazing events. If you follow them on social media, even now, you're going to see they have mentorship programs. They have different summer programs. So I would highly encourage you to start looking at the websites, start following on social media so you can get that information as well. So that's just some of the resources that I want to cover, but I want to emphasize, we want you to feel supported. We want you to know that you have a whole team of staff, students that are going to see you not only get to UCLA, but also to graduate, because we want to see you walk that stage. So those are some important resources that I want to cover. So I want to also explain a little bit the UC application timeline. I know that, there are different universities in the room, so the timelines are going to really differ depending on the university that you're applying to. For UCLA, we are part of the University of California application, so we do need you to submit the UC application. The UC application will be due in the month of November. So November 1st through November 30th is when you will submit your UC application. So again, very important, you have the whole month of November to submit the application. When it comes to working on the application, you can actually start working on the UC application now. The UC application became available in August 1st. So again, August 1st, the application was available online, but you will have to submit the application during the month of November. November 1st through November 30th is when you will submit the UC application. Another important deadline that I want to cover for our transfer students is the Transfer Academic Update, the TAU. So in January, you will have to submit the Transfer Academic Update, the TAU, in order to make sure that you're updating your fall grades, but also your spring courses. So again, with the TAU, you're going to let us know, these are the grades I received for the fall semester, and these are the courses that I will be taking in spring. Again, just some very, very important deadlines that I want to cover. And before I move on to the next slide, Mariana, I just want to double check. Do I still have a few more minutes?
Yes, you do, Karen.
Okay, perfect. I want to make sure I'm conscious of the time. So thank you so much for letting me know. So again, those are just some important deadlines that I want to cover today. On the next slide, we're going to talk a little bit about the FAFSA and the DREAM Act application. But again, as we see on the application timeline, you do need to make sure that you are submitting, right, the FAFSA or the DREAM Act application. So another important deadline and information that I want to cover, At UCLA, we do offer financial aid, and we have a lot of great resources. I actually want you to know that we have a whole office that is dedicated to assist our students with financial aid. So we have great counselors, great staff that are available to answer any financial aid questions. I want to really refer you to the financial aid website. They do have a lot of great information available on the website. But for financial aid purposes, we will consider, right, the FAFSA and or the DREAM Act, depending on what you're submitting. So again, that is a really, really important information I want to emphasize to make sure that you're submitting the FAFSA or the DREAM Act application, because we will look at those applications for financial aid purposes. We have a lot of great grants and scholarship opportunities on our campus. I know that for one of the previous presentations, there was a question about cost, right? So for UCLA, our cost of attendance is around $36,000. I want to just clarify that our tuition is around $13,000. The exact number is $13,250. So that is for tuition. So when I set the number, right, of cost of attendance around $36,000, that includes room and board. What that means is that depending on where you're living, right? So depending on where you're living, that number is really going to change. If you're living with roommates, if you're living on campus, if you're living off campus. So that number is really going to change when it comes to the cost of attendance of $36,000. Again, tuition is around $13,250 per academic year. So that is what you're paying for classes, tuition. When it comes to all of the other numbers, that's going to really change. And we're going to send in the chat the tuition. We have a budget, like a little budget sheet that talks about the different tuition, the cost of attendance. So it's a full breakdown. So we'll send that in the chat as well, so you can have a better idea. But I just want to emphasize that today. And I know it's coming close to 10:30, so I'm going to wrap it up. But I do want you to know, my last slide will be this one, is that at UCLA, we do have different admission representatives like myself that are assigned to every single California community college. So if you're attending a California community college, you can go to this website. We do have different admission representatives that are assigned to your community college. We host different events, different one-on-one sessions. So please visit the website and double check that information. I might be your admission representative depending on the community college you're attending. But again, this is available on our website. So I want you to stay connected, and you can find my contact information on this slide. Again, my name is Karen, and this is my email. I would encourage you to definitely stay connected and also check that admission representative page. So it is 10:29, so we'll pass it over to Mariana to make sure that we stay on track.
Thank you, Karen. So lots of questions for UCLA, and I was keeping up. So thank you for posting those. And I believe I answered all the students' questions, except this last one. How many transfer students at UCLA admit for fall 2019 and 2020?
That is a really good question. And Jessica, I'm gonna just refer to you for that specific question.
Sure. So, hello, everyone. So last year was our most competitive year yet. We received about 26,000 applications, which is a big jump from the previous year with about 24,000 admit rate. While the general admit rate is about 20%, it really varies by major. So in the chat section, we'll include the profile of admitted students, and it's best to look at majors. I know there was a question about nursing. Nursing is in the single digit admit rate in comparison to someone applying to, let's say, philosophy or art history. So I encourage you to check out. Thank you, Tran, for adding the profile of admitted students, which will give you a more detailed information about your specific major. At the transfer level at UCLA, we do admit by major.
Thank you, Jessica. A lot of great questions from the students. Thank you all for participating. And we do have some questions that we were not able to answer for Grand Canyon University. I did post those. Erica and Jasmine, do you have access to those questions?
To the questions, yes. Any questions? I did see a couple of them, meaning how can they fly out to Grand Canyon University? How, I know some of them said, how can we get the application? How can, just reach out to us. I'll type in my information on here, reach out to me directly. I am your go-to person from beginning to end. So any questions, any concerns, anything you want to find out more, you can reach out to me directly. And it'll be myself or Jasmine helping you, but just reach out to us and we can get all that information provided to you.
Yep. Yeah, perfect. And then if you had a chance to take a picture of the slides, or contact info is there. If not, we can also list it in their chat as well.
So at this moment, you guys, we're just gonna take, usually we have set up a little potty break here, a little 5-minute break, but I'm okay if you guys are okay to just start the circuit all over again, putting you guys on the spot live. So if you're okay, at least for this one, okay, we're gonna get going and then we will certainly do a little break in the next one. So if you did not get to hear from Grand Canyon or University of Redlands or UCLA, you didn't hear their entire presentation, please stick around. We're starting all over again with the circuit. And we are going to start with Grand Canyon University. We have Karen and Jasmine here to present to you. And please keep typing your questions and we will answer them as we go.
Awesome. So we are back on. Once again, my name is Erica Gonzalez. I am a local counselor with Grand Canyon University, and today I am accompanied by...
Yes, I'm here with Jasmine Creighton. I'm a local university admissions counselor in the Palm Springs area.
Now, we both work with Grand Canyon Universities. Our role here is to be able to help those individuals that are looking to continue into their educational goal and graduate. I represent our online community, meaning for anybody that's looking to be able to work full-time and they might not have that time to attend an actual campus. That's where I come in. I'm able to assist with our online programs. They are about 100% online, one class at a time. And then Jasmine represents our traditional campus. So if anybody is looking to go to our campus out in Phoenix, Arizona, she'd be your go-to. Now, who we are. Within Grand Canyon University, we're founded back in 1949, so we've been around for a while, but our campus is ever growing and still growing now. Approximately, we have about 20,000 students that are attending, and then we have over 81,000 online students. So that alone can let you know how popular our programs are, why people continue with it, with online, making it easier for them to be able to finish that educational goal. And what we offer within Grand Canyon University, we have over 200 different programs, and that's going to go anywhere from your bachelor's, master's, and doctorate. So if you're looking to go into right now into your bachelor's, but you know that's not your finish line, you want to go ahead and continue, you are able to go into our master's. And once again, you can do that at our traditional campus or online. It's some of the different resources that we have. So it's important. A lot of you guys are looking to transfer out. So what's available to you? How do you know? We know that there's a lot of different universities and we want to make sure that it is the perfect fit for you, right? Because of that, we're able to provide a LOPES evaluation. So a lot of questions that we get is, how long does the program take and how much does it cost? By simply providing your unofficial transcripts from any and all colleges that you've applied, within 24 to 48 hours, we can get back to you with those answers of what you transferred in, how many classes you have left, and what that cost breakdown looks like. Obviously, we love being able to get to know you guys a little bit better, and we're able to see if there are any scholarship opportunities that are eligible to you. We also are able to fly you out to Grand Canyon University, whether you're doing traditional or online. An application does have to be online and completed, which the application is free. And we actually walk you through all that process too. So if you're like, okay, I'm interested, but how do I get started? Simply reach out to us. We walk you from your application, from financial aid to showing you the campus or showing you the online program. We walk you through everything. You have a graduation team on your end, so you know exactly who to reach out to for what. It's typically just two people, which would be ourselves, the enrollment counselors, or your student service counselors, and they are able to answer any financial aid questions, any class scheduling for you. Now, if you do want to stay in touch with us and learn more about Grand Canyon University, right here, you're able to, that's a really cool like QR code. You're able to scan it over. It takes you directly to our page. You're able to input, or if you want to go ahead and give us a call or send us an email with any specific questions, please feel free to do so. We're here to support you in any possible way that we can.
Yeah, and just some few things that I wanted to mention. It is absolutely free to apply to GCU. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes. It's a streamlined process, so it's only one application. You can actually upload your transcripts at the same time, and oftentimes you're able to get a decision. One second. And you're able to actually get a decision at the same time. Excuse me, same day. And then also we provide a free evaluation. So if you're looking to get an idea of what your credits would transfer into, that would be, you know, one other service that we offer. We do offer estimated budget sheets. So if you're looking to get an understanding of how much it would cost to attend GCU, we provide all of those services free of charge, which is really great because you get to see the whole picture before you make a decision, especially with something as important as an investment in your education. And lastly, we offer a free campus trip to visit. So we fly you out to campus. You get to stay overnight in one of our dorms. We give you a meal card. You have an opportunity to learn more about your program, meet with other current and prospective students, and you have an opportunity to learn more about your program. So that's our Discover trip. We take care of everything. The only criteria that you would have to meet is to be admissible to GCU. It's a fun trip. We often tell students, you know, if you have a friend that you want to go on the trip with you, to please sign them up at the same time, and then you guys can go and have that experience together and learn more about GCU together. We're very transparent with, you know, tuition, fees, what you would expect to pay. We've been on a tuition freeze for over the last 10 years, and it's looking to continue to move in that direction, as well as we have a beautiful campus. All of our amenities are fairly new. They're going to be like a few years old. We have multiple places to eat at. We have a grocery store on campus. We recently put in a community urban garden. So lots of opportunity to have that home away from home feeling. So please let me know if you have any questions. Again, like Erica said, you could reach out via our email or our phone number. You would be working with us directly. So we work with you from beginning to end. And it's really nice because we are your only one point of contact. So again, reach out if you have any questions, or if you would like to learn more, or if you want the link to apply.
So there are two questions there. Jonathan asked, GCU Online, are all classes asynchronous learning?
And one more time, are they all
Asynchronous learning? Are your online courses asynchronous?
So our online classes are going to be one class at a time, and they are continuous. So as soon as one class ends, the follow-on starts.
And asynchronous, I think, is online, go at your own pace.
Oh, got it. Okay, so thank you for that. So it's yes and no. At the same time, you have a start date and an end date for that class. So it's on your own time where you don't have to log in at any specific time. You just have to make sure you're completing your assignments. Your due dates stay consistent throughout your entire week because it's designed with somebody that has a full-time job or, you know, is working or has to do stuff at home. So for that same reason, your due dates stay consistent throughout your entire week for your entire program. That way you know exactly when it's due and what is due.
Thank you, Erica. And I don't know if this question from Fernanda was for UCLA or for Grand Canyon University. And the question is, how many transfer students did your college university admit for fall 2019, so pre-COVID, and then for fall 2020?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't have those stats on me at this time, but if you were to go to gcu.edu, they have all of that completed, all of that information located on there. I can say though that 2020 was a really big admissions time for us. And I believe I want to say that it was like one of our higher admissions enrollment start dates. So I don't know if that's helpful, but if you were to go to gcu.edu, you'll be able to find those stats. I do want to say that we are, even with COVID, we are open. Classes are live, students are on campus. So if anyone was wondering that, we're still, of course, following whatever the Arizona COVID guidelines are, with measures and things, but we are on campus and the students are, classes are live.
Thank you, Jasmine. And we will go on ahead and just continue on to University of Redlands. University of Redlands, Kylie Mulder is here to present to you about her institution and all the great things that it has to offer.
Thanks. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kylie Mulder. I'm the Associate Director of Transfer Recruitment here at the University of Redlands, essentially your local private not-for-profit institution just down the street from Crafton Hills College. I represent what is called the College of Arts and Sciences. This is the essentially the school that is housing our 40 plus kind of traditional programs. So students who enroll in the College of Arts and Sciences are coming to campus sometimes Monday through Friday between the hours of 8 and 3. And then my colleague could not be here today from our School of Business, and I'll share a little bit more information about School of Business, but they operate in a very different kind of scheduling format. So I'll start first with the College of Arts and Science. As an institution, the University of Redlands was founded in 1907. So we've been in the city for quite some time. We are still considered a small private liberal arts school, small in the sense that our undergraduate enrollment is just about 2,400 students. Your average class size is about 18. So we really pride ourselves with personalized and individualized education. We do not admit students based upon major, so there's not specific prerequisites that you have to complete for admission, although we do accept prerequisites if you're fulfilling an associate degree to transfer. We offer about 13 of those degrees, or accept 13 of those degrees to the university currently, and that list is ever evolving and growing. We also accept the IGETC or the CSUGE breadth. So if you've been following those general education patterns during your time at Crafton and you will be GE certified by your departure, we will honor and accept that. It'll essentially blanket all of your general education requirements at Redlands, really making for a very smooth and kind of seamless transition to the university. We do offer a transfer guarantee program for students at Crafton. If you've earned 24 or more transferable units, you've completed English composition, a college level math course, and you've earned a 3.0 cumulative GPA or higher, you would be eligible for that transfer admission guarantee. As a private institution, many times students are shy in regards to applying because you hear about the cost of tuition. So we are not funded by the state, which we don't get that funding. And so the cost of attendance is going to sound a little bit high in regards to tuition, being close to $55,000 this current school year. We do, though, offer financial aid. Anyone who is paying really that out-of-pocket cost of what our tuition is would mean that they're doing okay in life. By my means. We are a FAFSA-based institution, so we encourage every student to submit that application so that you can qualify for things like state aid, federal aid, and then we have our own institutional aid as well. Our average financial aid offer for a transfer student, again, to the College of Arts and Sciences is about $43,952. So that's on average. Every student, once you are admitted and you've submitted the FAFSA, you would receive your financial aid offer in plenty of time before making a final decision to enroll. We have scholarships that are available based upon academic performance. That ranges between $10,000 to $23,000. And really that range, making sure you have a 3.0 or higher, the $23,000 typically going to our very high achieving students who have a 3.5 cumulative GPA or higher. We are a member of Phi Theta Kappa. I know that Crafton has their own honors program. But this is something that's new for us this year, is that we are recognizing PTK students, and they also will receive a $5,000 scholarship. In regards to applying, we are in the semester system and we will offer admission twice a year. So we accept applications for the spring as well as the fall. When it comes time to applying, you actually apply the semester prior to the start of the term. So if you are looking at fall 22, that application deadline is not until the 1st of March, which I think gives you some room to breathe and making sure, let's say you're applying broadly and you're looking at a state institution here in California, you can really focus on those applications this fall. And then in January, start working on your application for the University of Redlands. We're a member of the Common Application. If you're applying to multiple private institutions that are also a member of the Common App, I would recommend filling out the Common Application. So you only have to fill out your bio, demographics, all of that once, and then that would go to all schools that you're applying for. Using the Common Application, or you can fill out the Redlands transfer application if you're only really looking at Redlands. I am the point of contact for any student who's thinking about transferring for the College of Arts and Sciences. I not only represent Crafton Hills College, but let's say you're taking classes at Valley or you transfer out of Crafton and go to RCC. I work with every single transfer student. I'm the main transfer counselor. I'll put in my contact information in the chat after my presentation. So as I shared, my colleague Perla Ramos was not able to attend today, but she is the representative for the School of Business. The School of Business, still part of the University of Redlands. We actually offer multiple locations. We have a campus in San Diego, in Orange County, in the LA area, and then here at the main campus in Redlands. The School of Business really allows students to take classes in a much more flexible way than the College of Arts and Sciences. It is just the business degree. So if you're looking at psychology or any of those other programs, you'd be going through the College of Arts and Sciences. But the School of Business is a 1 night a week program. It's really well mapped out for you for 2 years to earn your bachelor's degree. They are not on the semester system. I guess maybe trimester could be a better way of putting that, but you're taking a class every week, and after every 8 weeks, that course changes to the next class. So if you are interested in earning a bachelor's of business in a more flexible way, you would want to contact my colleague Perla. So I'll go ahead if there's not, I don't know if there's any questions.
Yeah, hi Kylie. Yes, there are some questions from the audience. Fernanda would like to know, what major do you offer that prepares someone for a career and education? And then we have 2 other questions after that.
Yeah, so within education, I think it depends on what a student wants to do. So if you're thinking that you would really love to be an English teacher in a middle school or a high school setting, most students would then major within the area that they're going to teach if it's a single subject, but you don't have to. So that would be more of that single subject. If you're thinking of teaching K through 6 and you want to teach multiple subjects, we offer a liberal studies degree that really gives the foundation to teach K through 6 and all of the subjects in which you are required to teach, like music and history and art and math. There will be some more information coming soon of a bachelor's degree in education. So more to come on that. That will be released through our School of Education. So some more information coming in a really cool way to finish your education degree in the next couple of months.
Thank you. And then we have Amanda who's at MSJC currently, and she had a question about prerequisites for your Psych BA. She says so far she's completed all prerequisites for your institution except Bio 115. So I'm imagining that's intro to bio, maybe general bio. Will this reduce her odds of getting accepted into University of Redlands?
Not at all. And the reason for that is we don't admit students based upon major. So all of our students, and I guess I shouldn't say that, if you're interested in our School of Music, there's an audition process and an application, to show that you actually know how to play an instrument or sing. And then our Johnston Center for Integrative Studies, those are the only 2 programs that you actually have to submit a separate application to. But our psychology majors, our communication sciences and disorders majors, you apply, that's the major that you would put down as your number 1 interest, but you are not reviewed based on, do you have all the prerequisites in order to be admissible? You're reviewed based on admission criteria, and then you would declare your major once you're at the institution.
Okay, and then we have Michaela I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Michaela, does University of Redlands have a nutrition major? And do you have a nursing program that was from a different student?
We do not offer nursing. We do have a pre-med emphasis, but that's really if you're thinking optometry, medical school. So nursing, not a good fit at the U of R. We don't offer those really core classes that you would need for a BSN degree. We don't offer a BSN degree. And then the other question was
nutrition.
We do not. We do offer what's called the Johnston Center for Integrative Studies. And that program actually allows a student to create and shape their own, what they call an emphasis. It's an alternative style of learning. Students don't receive letter grades in that program, but a student who's thinking of nutrition in Johnston, just for an example, they might be looking at like holistic health. And so nutrition would play a role in that, your mental health. So maybe it's learning about meditation. If someone in Johnston could really pull something really cool together, that might be kind of the foundation of nutrition, but all of these other factors of like, what does it mean to live well? So Johnston could be a potential fit. It just would depend on what the student ultimately wants to do.
Thank you so much, Kylie.
Thank you.
And thank you for presenting University of Redlands and their generosity and their financial aid. We are going to move on to UCLA.
Hello again. Okay, yes, I'm here. I was like, did I freeze? No, so let me share my screen. There you go. Well, welcome again, everyone. If you haven't listened to my presentation already, my name is Karen Ortiz, and I'm one of the admission representatives for the UCLA Undergraduate Admission Office. I actually graduated from UCLA myself. So if you ever have any student life questions, you want to talk a little bit more about campus life, let me know. So I have a lot of great information to cover today. I'm going to talk a little bit more about admission requirements for the UC system. I'm going to talk about UCLA specifics, and then I'll give you a little bit of information on resources and just a little bit on timeline. So we have a lot of great information. So to get started, I just want to talk about the UC minimum requirements. Something that I want to emphasize is that UC stands for University of California. So if you hear me say UC, it's University of California. So the great thing about being in California is that we have 9 UC campuses. So our UC campuses are all throughout California. Of course, UCLA is located in the Los Angeles area. We're located specifically in Westwood. So Westwood is right down the block from Santa Monica, Brentwood. We're very close to downtown Hollywood. So just to give you a little bit of information on our location. But again, we are part of the University of California system. So in order to be eligible for the UC system, I want to go over the transfer admission requirements. So we are asking our transfer students to be at junior level standing, which means to meet the minimum units of 60 semester or 90 quarter transferable units by the end of spring before you transfer. We're also going to ask you to complete the 7-course pattern, which is 2 transferable English courses, 1 transferable math course, and then 4 transferable courses in 2 different subject areas. As the UC system, we will ask you to maintain a minimum GPA of a 2.4 or higher. Again, this is UC requirements, so I'm going to cover UCLA specifics on the other slide. And I didn't mention, but I do have some of my colleagues also here ready to answer any questions in the chat. So if I'm not answering your questions right now, don't worry, I have other staff available to also answer your questions. But for UCLA specifics, I do want to talk about, right, what UCLA admission requirements are we looking for? So for UCLA, additionally, from the information we covered in the previous slide, for UCLA, we are going to look at your major. So depending on the major that you're applying to, you are admitted by major as a transfer student, and you do need to complete certain major prerequisites for that intended major. So that is very, very important to keep in mind as you're exploring your options. And my colleagues will share the transfer admission guide, and they will share assist.org, the website. So the transfer admission guide actually has all of the different majors we offer on campus. And it actually also covers the different major prerequisites depending on your intended major. So again, 2 really good resources that I want to discuss. Assist.org is a website for California community college students. You can actually see what courses at your community college are transferable to UCLA. Another really good resource that I really want to make sure that you all have access to. So definitely make sure that you bookmark those two websites, the Transfer Admission Guide and assist.org. For UCLA, we do recommend you to maintain a GPA of a 3.2 or higher. I also want to explain that depending on the major that you're applying to, this recommendation might be different. So again, the Transfer Admission Guide is very, very important, so you can start double checking that information. I want to emphasize that at UCLA, we do offer over 125 majors. Again, that is a lot of different options. We have every major that you can imagine: English, sociology, biology, life sciences. And we also have specialty schools on campus. I know there was a question about nursing. We do have a nursing program. We have an art program, a dance program. So again, we have a lot of different options when it comes to major. The Transfer Admission Guide is the best resource that I can refer you to, so you can start taking a look at the different majors and minors that we offer on campus. When it comes to resources, so something that I always like to emphasize, even as an alumni, I did take advantage of some of these resources as well. At UCLA, we do really pride in not only admitting you to our campus, but also providing you resources that are really going to allow you to succeed, right, as a transfer student. We don't only want to see you get to the campus, but we also want to see you graduate our campus. So we do have a lot of great resources and centers on campus that really allow our students to be successful, to get the different services that they need. One of the centers that I want to touch on today is the Bruin Resource Center. So the Bruin Resource Center offers a lot of great services, scholarships, mentorship opportunities for students that identify as current and former foster youth, student with dependents, student veterans, AB 540 and undocumented students, students in recovery, formerly incarcerated and or system impacted students. So again, some of the resources that we have on campus are for those identities, but we have a lot of other centers as well. We also have a transfer student center on campus. So once you get to campus as a transfer student, you will have a community waiting for you. You will have different transfer students that are going to be part of that network. You're going to have different summer programs, different scholarship opportunities, different job opportunities. So again, we do have these two centers that I really want to emphasize, but these are just some of the resources available. On this next slide, I just want to touch a little bit on the UC application timeline. So I want to emphasize, right, being part of the UC system, we do all share one application. So through the UC application, you're able to apply to as many of the UC campuses as you wish. That is so amazing. I can't emphasize that enough. You were really able to apply to as many of the UC campuses as you prefer. Something very important that I want to mention is that the application filing period, so the actual deadline for the UC application is November 1st through November 30th. So you have the whole month of November to submit your UC application. Something that you can actually start doing now is that you can start working on the application. So after this presentation, after the fair, you can start working on the application. But keep in mind, November 1st to November 30th is the filing period. So when you will actually submit the UC application, you have the whole month. Another important date that I want to cover is the Transfer Academic Update, the TAU. So the Transfer Academic Update is also a very important part of your application, and you should submit at least one TAU by the end of January. So very important, this is where you will update your fall grades and your spring courses. So in this case, if you're applying for fall 2022, you will report your fall 2021 grades, and you're going to let us know and confirm, right, what classes are you taking for spring 2022. So just a quick overview of our timeline, some very important dates that I want to cover. And I want to be conscious of the time, so let me move on to the next slide. So for financial aid, I want you to know that at UCLA, we do have a financial aid office. We have a financial aid office, and we also have a scholarship resource center on campus. So two really good resources that I want to refer you to. At UCLA, we do look at the FAFSA or the DREAM Act, depending on what you're submitting for financial aid purposes. We do offer grants and scholarships for different students. But again, I want to emphasize, you do need to submit the FAFSA or the DREAM Act application for financial aid purposes. Something that I do want to cover is that at UCLA, the cost of attendance, the budget that we have is around $36,000. But this number, what this means that this would be with room and board, and this is an estimate. So this doesn't mean that this number is going to be exactly the same for everyone. Our tuition, so the actual cost of tuition per year for UCLA is $13,258. So again, that is the tuition. The cost of attendance is the budget that we create, right? With cost of living, room and board. So that number is around $36,000, but it really depends, right? On where you're living, who are your roommates, how much money are you spending on food? How much money are you spending on the different expenses? So something that I do want to cover, and I see that the time is 11:01. The last slide that I want to touch on is the UCLA admission representative page. So at UCLA, we do have admission representatives assigned to every California community college. So if you visit this website, and my colleagues will put that link as well, you can see who is the admission representative assigned to my community college. Please stay connected with us. If you have any questions about any of the information that I just covered today, please reach out. We're happy to help. And in this last slide, this is my information. I will be some of the admission representatives for some of your community colleges. But again, definitely stay connected. We're here to help. And I will pass it back to Mariana just to make sure that we stay on track.
Thank you, Karen, and the entire UCLA team. Yeah, there's been a lot of questions, and please stay tuned because we are answering them. Thank you, everyone, again, for joining us. I will keep posting your questions. At the moment, we're just going to take a little 5-minute break, and we will be right back, but I will be busy here answering your questions, and we'll get started all over again with Grand Canyon University and with University of Redlands and with UCLA as well. So just give us a little 5-minute break and we'll be back. Keep asking your questions and we'll keep answering them. We'll be right back, you guys. Thank you. If you are with us, we just want to let you know that we will come back at 11:08. We are just taking a little short little break, and we will start all over again with Grand Canyon University, University of Redlands, and UCLA. So just hold on tight and we'll be back in 3 minutes. All right, welcome back, everyone. Thank you for being patient and waiting for us while we just took a few minute break. We are going to start our circuit all over again with Grand Canyon University, and we have Erica Gonzalez here to present to you.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. We're so excited to be here and be able to go over your different options. Like she mentioned, my name is Erica Gonzalez. I am representing Grand Canyon University. A little bit of who we are. So we have a traditional campus out in Phoenix, Arizona that was founded back in 1949. Our campus has grown and it keeps on growing. The admissions keeps on growing every year, not just for our traditional campus, but also for our online programs. As you can tell, we had approximately 20,000 ground students, meaning our traditional campus, attending back in 2019, and then over 81,000 online students. Now, what makes us so popular is we have over 200 different programs. Whether you're looking to become a teacher, you want to become a nurse, you're looking to go into IT, we offer a different variety of programs, whether you're pursuing your bachelor's, your master's, or your doctorate. Now, we have a lot of different resources for you to be able to transfer. Depending on what you're looking to be able to continue, I represent our online programs. So if you're looking to get started, we are able to offer different start dates for our online programs. It's not just for spring and summer. They are continuous enrollments depending on some of the programs. With that, I know a lot of questions are, what am I able to transfer? What do I have left? What does that look like? And we understand that you want it to be up clear and up front when you're transferring in, you know what you want to expect. So because of that, we offer a free pre-evaluation. What that means to you is you're able to send in of your unofficial transcripts 24 to 48 hours. We let you know what you could be transferring in, how many classes you have left, when your expected graduation date would be, and of course that breakdown of cost. Now, when we present that breakdown of cost, it's not just tuition for you, it's tuition, books, and fees. So it's the entire packet. We're very up clear and very upfront of Grand Canyon University, what it's going to look like. Now, to get started, I know a lot of questions are like, how do I go about it? Get in touch? How do I apply? You will reach out directly to your counselors, which would be myself or Jasmine. With that, we help you with the application, which there's no fee. We do accept financial aid. So if that's something that you want to go ahead and take a look to see if you qualify for any, what your remaining status is on that, reach out to us. If we help you complete financial aid and any steps that are needed, you have a graduation team on your side with GCU. Now we focus on having that way you have a direct point of contact at all time and not having a 1-800 number where you have to dial different ones, try to get transferred. That way your questions get answered right away. Now, if you do want to go ahead and stay in touch with us, learn more, you have any questions that are particular to you, please feel free to reach out to us. My name is Erica. You're able to see my information on either email, phone number, or that QR code that will take you directly to my page, and you can go ahead information. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Now, I do have a colleague on the line with me. Her name is Jasmine, and she does cover our traditional campus. She's going to give you some exciting news if you do want to visit GCU.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jasmine Creighton. I'm a University Admissions Counselor with Grand Canyon University. I'm a traditional counselor, so I do help transfer students interested in transferring on campus in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm located in the Palm Springs area, and I service colleges from San Bernardino Valley College all the way to Palos Verde. A few highlights I want to go over is that GCU is accepting applications on a rolling admissions. So there's no particular, deadline that you have to meet in order to apply. We would just take a look at when you're looking to start as far as like fall, winter, or summer. Or excuse me, fall or spring or summer. And then there is no out-of-state tuition. So you're looking to pay the same amount, whether you attend, whatever state you are located in, you would pay the same amount. We have a one application process. So you would apply, with using one application. It's absolutely free. Takes about 15 to 20 minutes to apply. You'll just submit your transcripts, and along with that, you can get a free credit evaluation, which would allow us to see what credits you're bringing in and how that would apply to your program. And then there's also an opportunity for us to meet one-on-one with you and your family. We'll go over some campus highlights, the tuition breakdown as far as what you would be looking to pay in tuition and fees. And we'll also go over scholarships. We give really generous scholarships based on GPA. So that's exciting. They are renewable each year that you are attending. It's capped out at 8 semesters, but really nice to help with the investment of your education. And then we have a really cool program called the Discover program, where we fly you out to our beautiful campus. You have an opportunity to learn more about your program, meet with other current and prospective students. You'll learn more, of course, about GCU, but you'll have an opportunity to eat on campus, play on campus. Each Discover trip highlights a certain event. So it could be a sporting event, it could be, a social event. So really cool opportunity. And I encourage students to, take that trip with a friend who's also interested in GCU. The only criteria that you would have to meet is be admissible to the campus, so that if you are excited to go on the program and you come back and you're ready to get started, we can pick up where we left off, which is also something really cool. GCU, with us having such a streamlined process and one application, we can pick up where you left off at any given time. So if you are someone who looked into GCU and applied years ago and maybe decided not to move forward, we actually can just continue wherever it is that you left off with that counselor. So, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We love to get you scheduled for a Zoom meeting. Learn more about where you are in your educational goals and see how, GCU, we can fit into that and support you in your goals. So my contact information is listed, my phone number, my email. And I did see a question about the marriage and family therapy program. We do offer that. And in fact, my sister graduated with a master's in that. And right after she graduated, she was able to start working as a social worker. And because she had previous work experience, I believe she started at, don't quote me, I want to say like the second level, which is kind of really hard to do in that type of position. And so, even being a new graduate, she was able to start using her degree right away and, get a position that kind of was able to help her skip ahead in a sense. So really great program. We offer that. And if you're looking to get licensed as well, licensure is offered. So please contact myself or Erica. We offer it. She definitely took it online, so we have it online, and we do have it on campus, and we'd love to help you, get started. Any other questions?
No, at this moment, we do not have any other questions, Jasmine.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much. Please don't hesitate to reach out. I tell students all the time, have your top 3 schools in mind. Make sure you're doing your due diligence, you're doing your research, reach out with them, get the budget sheets, compare, and then make the best decision that, is based on your program, what the school is offering you, and the services provided. So we'd love to support you. So, reach out and don't hesitate. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Grand Canyon University. Next, we have Kylie Mulder from University of Redlands, who will be sharing with us her campus, which is right here in the Inland Empire.
Yeah. So essentially, if you're tuning in from San Jacinto, Menifee, Riverside, Mariana, the Saracoso campus, there's one in Mammoth, which I've joked of like, that would be a great school to go to. But again, my name is Kylie Mulder. I'm the Associate Director of Transfer Recruitment at the University of Redlands. I represent what are called the College of Arts and Sciences. So the College of Arts and Sciences really is the umbrella in which our 40 plus traditional programs are housed. Students who are part of what we call CAS are typically coming to campus Monday through Thursday between the hours of 8 and 3. If you're a science major, many times labs are offered on Friday. So College of Arts and Sciences certainly is a more traditional time frame in regards to your course offerings. Part of that is that we are small. So we are considered a small private liberal arts institution. The small piece in regards to enrollment, we have just about 2,400 undergraduate students. So unlike if you're going to RCC, your campus is much larger student population wise. You could have one class, say History 101, and there's 10 sections of that course to choose from. At Redlands, since we have a smaller student population, you may only have 2 sections to choose from. So that's why our students are typically coming to school kind of Monday through Thursday. It doesn't mean you have 5 classes in one day. But again, as a small private liberal arts institution, that liberal arts piece is just meaning that you are going to be a very well-rounded student by the time you graduate. It also means that we don't want students to feel bound to only their major. So you could be a biology major, but also be really passionate about music, and you could actually be a part of our School of Music. You can join an ensemble. You could take art classes as a history major, and we really encourage cross-curriculum. That's part of that liberal arts. We believe that everything is integrated and interrelated. We offer again about 40 different programs. Our most popular majors, not to be misconstrued with the term impaction. Impaction is not something that is an issue at the institution. It's just the sheer number of transfer students who are interested in some of our majors. So right now, some of our most popular programs are communication studies, they've changed the name, communication sciences and disorders. So if you're looking at speech pathology or audiology, that's the program for you. Psychology is very popular. We have a new program called Health Medicine and Society. So if you've ever thought of sort of a pre-med emphasis, which we do offer, but if you're thinking about healthcare in a broader sense, maybe you do eventually want to go on to be a doctor, but that like Doctors Without Borders sort of mentality, or looking at healthcare and providing access for all, whether that's here in the States or it's abroad. Health Medicine Society, it's actually based in our philosophy department. So it's a really unique look on sort of healthcare as a really broad term. So again, popular program. We have pre-professional programs, business. If you're looking at pre-law, we offer quite a few programs for students with a very specific kind of degree/career in mind. If you are following the IGETC or the CSU GE breadth, and you'll be GE certified by the time that you transfer, University of Redlands will honor that. So that will essentially blanket your general education requirements at the U of R, really making for a very smooth and seamless transition, and really allowing you to hop right into your major coursework. In regards to major coursework, if you're fulfilling an associate degree to transfer, we will accept, I think we're now just about 13 associate degrees for transfer. Each department actually has sort of the say in what is going to be approved for that specific program. So chemistry, biology, our business programs, all accept the associate degree to transfer. And I have a list on our transfer website. We are a FAFSA-based institution. Many times students, I think, are very shy in applying to a private institution, and that's because of sticker price. You might see that our cost of attendance will look very high by standards of just being the price on paper. So our tuition, just to be enrolled in classes, we require students to be full-time, is about $55,000. And so there's that sticker shock, and you think right off the bat, that's not worth me applying for. I don't have that money. Guess what? Neither do I. And most of our students don't either, but we do offer very generous financial aid offers. As a FAFSA-based institution, something that we actually lobby for every year for access to our students is something called the Cal Grant, which you might be very familiar with. You might be receiving those funds right now, but our students can be Cal Grant eligible, Pell Grant eligible, and then we have our own institutional aid that can be given to students. So our average transfer financial aid offer is about $43,952. We have scholarships that are based upon your academic performance. Any transfer student with a 3.0 or higher cumulative GPA is eligible for that scholarship. There's nothing that you have to do to apply for it. It's done at the time of the review of your application. That ranges between $10,000 to $23,000. Those of you that might be a member of Phi Theta Kappa, that honors program, I know MSJC has a chapter, I think, at each campus. We do have a $5,000 PTK scholarship for students who are members of that program. We are a member of the Common Application for Transfer. If you are applying to any other private institution that also is a member, I don't know if USC is here today, they're not in the room, but they're a member of the Common App, or if you're looking at a place like Chapman, Laverne, it may be better for you to submit the Common Application because you can submit that to multiple institutions without having to redo your biographical information, your personal statement, things like that. If you're only applying to Redlands as your only private institution, then you can fulfill or you can submit the Redlands transfer application. I am the main point of contact for any transfer student who is either here in the state or actually throughout the nation. So I would be your point of contact if you're interested in the College of Arts and Sciences. My colleague, Perla Ramos, she was not available to come today, but she is the point of contact for our School of Business. So the School of Business allows students to take classes just one night a week, and every 8 weeks that course changes. So you are really in a very streamlined pathway to complete your bachelor's degree in 2 years. They also will accept the associate degree for transfer in business. Some of those students actually are able to complete the program fewer than 2 years. So maybe it's a year and a half. But very flexible, certainly a great program for students who can't commit to being on campus Monday through Thursday and looking to complete a degree in business. So a great program, and Perla would be that point of contact. And before we go to the next representative, I'll make sure to put my contact information in the chat, and then we'll open up for questions.
Yes, Kylie, please put your information in the chat so that I can pass it on to students. And we have one question, Kylie, from Fernanda, and she wants to know how many transfer students at your college university admit for fall 2019 before COVID and for fall 2020.
Yeah, for fall 2019, and I forgot to mention, we admit students twice a year, so both spring and fall. Fall 2019, I think we were just a little under 100 transfer students for fall 2019. For fall 2020, I think our head count from census date with transfers was, I think we were like at 82. So there was a little bit of a dip in enrollment, as we've seen throughout many of our peer institutions. And even at the community college. So I think, you know, some of our students that were impacted, obviously seniors in high school, and they actually ended up choosing to transfer. So we saw a really interesting trend as well of seniors in high school who were ready to go off to a four-year institution, but because that experience was going to be completely online, they chose to go to a local community college and then enroll. So 2021, I've actually seen a lot of students transferring that probably never thought that was going to be their path. But we are excited that they're here.
One last question before we move on to UCLA. TJ wants to know, how long does it take to complete a master's degree in music after getting your bachelor's in music?
I think it depends on the program. So our School of Music undergrad, if you're coming in as a transfer student, you should be able to complete that within 2 years if you're coming in with junior standing. And then also depending on the coursework, prep work for music that you've done. The master's degree, it just depends if it's education or composition, performance. I think those programs typically run almost 2 years.
Thank you so much, Kylie, and thank you everyone for your great questions. We're going to move on to Karen from UCLA. Thank you, Karen, for being here with us. And we are running a little bit behind, but I think that's okay because you guys have great questions. We want to make sure that we answer them, right? So take it from here, Karen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mariana. And yes, Anna and Jessica and Tram are here to help me with the chat. So we have a lot of great staff here ready to answer any questions that you might have. So while I'm sharing the presentation, if you're thinking of any question, definitely put it in the chat. But my name is Karen Ortiz, and I'm one of the admission representatives for the UCLA Undergraduate Admission Office. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about UCLA admission requirements. Also, I want to share with you some resources and just some really good information. So again, let's go ahead and get started. If you have any questions, please ask in the chat. So something that I want to start off by clarifying or just letting you know is that I will be using the acronym UC. So what UC stands for is the University of California. So in California, we do have 9 UC campuses. We have campuses all over California. UCLA is located in the LA area, so in the Los Angeles area. Just to give you a little bit better context, we're actually located in Westwood. So Westwood is right down the block from Santa Monica. We're actually very close also to Brentwood, Koreatown, downtown LA, Hollywood. So we're very, very central to a lot of great places that give you opportunities for internships, for work opportunities. So again, just want to give you a little bit of insight of our location. But when it comes to admissions, right? So something amazing about being part of the University of California system is that you get to apply to as many of the UC campuses as you wish. So we all use one UC application. We use the same application, and you really get to select, right? How many campuses do you want to apply from the UC system? So really good perk that we have being part of the University of California system. So I want to go over some of the admission requirements. So how can you be eligible as a transfer student to apply to the UC system? So we do ask you to complete the minimum of 60 semester or 90 quarter transferable units by the end of spring before you transfer. We're also asking you to complete the 7-course pattern. So that is 2 transferable English courses, 1 transferable math course, and 4 transferable courses in 2 different subject areas. For the UC system, we do ask for a minimum GPA of a 2.4 or higher. I want to clarify that for UCLA, we're going to go over specifics. So this is again for the UC system, but depending on the UC campus you're applying to, there will be different recommendations. And I will go over UCLA specifically on the next slide. So UCLA, that's what you're here to learn today about, right? So for UCLA selection, we are going to look at your major for admission purposes. So as a transfer student, you will select the major, and we are asking you to complete major prerequisites for your intended major. So again, it's very important that you start exploring the different options that we offer at UCLA so you can complete those major preparatory courses for admission purposes. I have 2 really amazing resources that I want to talk about. So number 1, we do have the transfer admission guide available on our website. The transfer admission guide will go over all of the different majors on our campus. It actually also goes over the major prep courses that we're asking you to complete for admission purposes. If you are attending a California community college, which all of you are, you will have access to assist.org. Assist basically tells you the courses at your community college transfer over to the UC system. So you have a list of courses that say these courses at your community college will be transferable to the UC system. Again, assist.org and the transfer admission guide are 2 really good resources that I want you to have access to today. My colleagues will go ahead and share some of the links in the chat, so look out for those. Something that I do also want to clarify is that for UCLA, we are asking you to maintain a GPA of a 3.2 or higher. Something very important that I also want to emphasize is that depending on your major, so depending on the major that you're selecting, that GPA recommendation will vary. So really important that you're looking at those details in the transfer admission guide because it will go over all of this great information. Something that I always love to share is that at UCLA, we do offer over 125 majors. Again, that is a lot of different majors. We have traditional majors like English, political science, sociology, biology. We also have specialty schools on campus. So we have a nursing program, theater, film, and television, art, dance. The list goes on. We do have over 125 majors, but the transfer admission guide is, again, a really good resource because you have the full list of majors and minors that we offer on campus. So before I give you any more admission-related information, I also want to touch on the resources that we offer on campus. So we always like to, clarify to our students that we don't only want to admit you to UCLA, but we also want you to graduate, right? We want you to be a successful student. We want you to feel supported and to feel like you're part of a community once you get to campus. So in order to make sure that our students are feeling this way, we do have a lot of great centers on campus. And I want to talk about two really important centers and resources that you have on campus. So the Bruin Resource Center, they are a great center because they have a lot of different resources, scholarships. They have mentorship programs depending on the specific program that you're part of, but they do have a lot of great and amazing resources that I want to emphasize. So the Bruin Resource Center does work and help students that identify as current and former foster youth, students with dependents, student veterans, AB 540 and undocumented students, students in recovery, formerly incarcerated and or system impacted students. So again, some of the just groups and organizations that we have under the Bruin Resource Center will help students that identify with these identities. But we also have a transfer student center on campus. So again, another important and great resource that I want you to take advantage and to start exploring. The Transfer Student Center really allows our transfer students, right, to just feel like they're part of a community. You're also part of a network. You have different job opportunities, different volunteer opportunities, advising, counseling. So the Transfer Student Center is another really good resource that I want to emphasize today. And I want you to know that these are not all the resources we have. This is just some of the resources that we have on campus. We have a lot of great things to offer to our students. In this next slide, I just want to touch a little bit on the timeline. So I'm going to go over some very important dates and deadlines. So if you are a planner like myself, start writing down these dates on your planner on a piece of paper. You can take a picture of the slide, but again, these are some important deadlines that I want to cover. So again, just to re-emphasize, being part of the UC application means that you get to select as many of the UC campuses as you wish on the UC application. The UC application filing period will be in November. So you have the whole month of November, from November 1st to November 30th, to submit the UC application. Again, very, very important. You must submit your application during the month of November. The good thing is that you can actually start working on the UC application today. So the application became available in August. So August, that UC application became available online. So you can actually start working on it after this fair. You can go ahead and start your UC application. But again, I want to emphasize November 1st to November 30th is when you will actually submit the UC application. So very, very important. Another important deadline that I want to touch on is the Transfer Academic Update. So the Transfer Academic Update, the TAU, it will be due at least one by the end of January. So by the end of January, you should submit at least one Transfer Academic Update. This information, you will basically tell us what grades did you receive for fall 2021 and what courses are you going to be taking for spring. Again, the TAU is very, very important for admission purposes, so I want you to keep those deadlines in mind. In this next slide, I want to talk a little bit about financial aid and some of the resources that we offer. So for financial aid resources at UCLA, we actually have an office that is dedicated to helping students receive financial aid and scholarships. Something that I want to let you know is that we have a financial aid office, but we also have the Scholarship Resource Center on campus. So two really great opportunities for students to receive financial aid and to get scholarships. For UCLA, we are looking at your FAFSA or the DREAM Act application, depending on what you're submitting, in order to determine how much financial aid you qualify for. So very, very important that you're filling out the FAFSA application or the DREAM Act to make sure that you are receiving financial aid if you are admitted to UCLA. So very, very important. We will send some important links for the financial aid website. But again, the financial aid website has such great and important information that I want you to take advantage of. Something that I want to cover today is the cost of attendance for UCLA. So this is a very common question that we receive. How much does UCLA cost per year? So the cost of attendance, and this means the cost of attendance number, this covers tuition, room and board, and books. So again, this is just an estimate. It is around $36,000 per academic year. I want to explain that the cost of attendance includes all of the different information, right? So it includes tuition, room and board, books. So this is an estimate. This number can really vary depending where you're living. Are you living on campus? Are you living off campus? How many roommates do you have, right? So that number can really vary. So the number that I want to share with you as well is the tuition. So tuition is, what is the tuition, right, per year? How much does it cost to attend classes? So the tuition per academic year is $13,258. So that is different, right, than the cost of attendance. The cost of attendance has the tuition included as well. But I just want to clarify that because that number can look very scary. I know myself as a first generation college student, when I saw the number, I was like, does that mean, right? What does the cost of attendance mean? So I want to really emphasize that and explain that the cost of attendance is different because it really encompasses all of those different budgets. So we're going to share the budget link in the chat. So I just want to clarify that. But again, tuition is $13,258. The cost of attendance, including the tuition, so the tuition is included in that estimate, is around $36,000. But that $36,000 will really vary depending on your living style and what you choose to live. So a lot of those different factors will really vary. Another great thing that I want to cover today is the UCLA admission representative page. So at UCLA, we do have admission representatives assigned to every single California community college. So there are staff like myself that we work with our different California community colleges. So I would highly encourage you to please look at the admission website, and the link is right there, in order to double check who is the admission representative assigned to your community college. We do host different virtual events, different workshops with the community colleges. So please make sure that you're staying connected with us. And in this last slide, I want to share my contact information. So this is my email address. It was so great to be with you all today. I'm going to just double check if there's no other questions, but I know my colleagues have been answering some of them.
Yes, they've been great at answering them, and I've been posting them. Thank you, Karen. And as we continue to get questions, we'll continue to post them and so that students can get their answers. Thank you very much. We will start this. We're going to go on ahead and start our circuit all over again with Grand Canyon University, then University of Redlands, and then we'll come back around to Karen with UCLA. So next we have Erica Gonzalez from Grand Canyon University.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's doing good. Thank you so much for allowing some time. We're excited to be able to share some information about our campus and our different online programs that we're offering. Like I said, my name is Erica Gonzalez, and I represent solely our online program. Joining me today is Jasmine, and she will be talking a little bit more about our traditional campus expectations. So who we are, so who is GCU? We were founded back in 1949, so we are an ever-growing campus. We currently have over 20,000 students on ground, meaning our traditional facility, and we have over 80,000 online students. Within our online programs, those are so popular for working individuals because we know that sometimes it's difficult to be able to attend a traditional campus. By that means our online programs are 100% online, one class at a time. If you're curious to know what type of programs we're offering, we offer over 200 different programs depending on what you're looking for. We have a little bit of everything, and that goes for your bachelor's, your master's, and even doctorate programs. So if you're looking to become a teacher, we offer credentialing opportunities. If you're looking to go into IT or healthcare, or you want to go ahead and finish your nursing degree, there's so many different possibilities. Within Grand Canyon University, you have your dedicated counselor, meaning you have your go-to person for any types of questions, meaning from what you're transferring in to how to go about applying to what to expect. All of those questions, we're able to connect with you, whether it be in person, via Zoom, over a phone call, via email, anything that's going to work for you, we're going to make it work. And we want to see if GCU would be the perfect fit for you, if it'd be the perfect schedule. Now, with that in mind, when you're looking to transfer over, what we like to do is we like to take a look at your unofficial transcripts. This is going to give us a better idea of what you're transferring in, what classes you have left, what your expected graduation date would be, and of course, what that breakdown of the cost looks like. Now, not only do we want to see you start, we want to see you finish. And because of that, you have a graduation team on your corner at all ends. So you know exactly who to redirect redirect that questions to, any type of assistance that you may need. Within the LOPES evaluation, we also provide that net price calculator, right? So it's going to let us know what you have left. So we are able to give you a better idea of what that cost looks like. Now, keep in mind that that's going to represent tuition, books, and fees. So it's a better estimate of what the entire program will consist of. We do accept financial aid. So anybody that's interested in learning more about financial aid and how to do it, we walk you through it. Once again, we're very hands-on. We don't want you to feel lost on how you're transferring, what you're going to do. We're able to assist with that. If you have any questions, you're going to be able to stay connected with us. My name is Erica Gonzalez. You can find my information on here. You're able to scan that QR code, and I will be able to schedule a call with you either today, this week, whenever you're available to be able to answer those questions. Now, I do have Jasmine with me, and she's going to go over some important information in regards to our traditional campus and visiting GCU. Now, keep in mind that visiting GCU is going to be available for both students, whether you're looking to go online or to our traditional campus. We want to make sure that you see what that campus looks like, what the environment, that feeling of home is going to be.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jasmine Creighton. I'm a University Admissions Counselor for Grand Canyon University, and I'm a traditional counselor, meaning I assist students who are interested in transferring on the grounds campus located in Phoenix, Arizona. And so I support students located in San Bernardino, from San Bernardino Valley College all the way to Palos Verde, and in between. And so we are local counselors, meaning we live in the territories that we serve. So prior to COVID, we were able to be on campus meeting with students, hosting events. So, which was really nice, as well as doing classroom presentations. So a lot of those things we are offering now at the same capacity, but just virtually. And so as Erica mentioned, we have a lot of fun and interesting things going on. A few highlights that I wanted to circle back to. We are accepting applications on a rolling admissions period, meaning there's no specific deadline that you would have to meet in order to apply. You would just want to be mindful of the term that you're looking to start. So that could be fall, spring, or summer with GCU. There is no cost to apply. It's absolutely free. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes. It's one application. So you would apply, you would, make emphasis whether you're online or grounds campus. And then from there you would upload your transcripts, get a free pre-evaluation to determine what your transfer credits look like. And then we would schedule your one-on-one appointment where we would go over your estimated budget sheet, take a look at what your investment would be to come to GCU. And then we also offer generous scholarships. So based on your GPA, we will be able to take a look and see what you're eligible for. And our scholarships are renewable, which is amazing. And then, like Erica mentioned, we do offer the Discover trip. So it's absolutely a wonderful opportunity to see if GCU is for you. And you have a chance to, essentially try before you buy. So you'll be able to come to campus and take a look at our beautiful campus, the services and programs that we offer, meet with current and prospective students, and have an opportunity to take a look at the dorms. You'll be able to eat on campus. You'll be able to take part in a social event or sporting event, whatever is the highlight for that weekend. And of course, learn more about your program. So it's a unique opportunity to really just see if GCU is for you, and if you can see yourself there. And I do tell students, I encourage them to, if there's a friend that you would love to attend with, to both of you apply at the same time and go to the Discover trip, at the same time, and see if you can see yourselves there. So it's a really unique opportunity, something I wish I had when I was a student and looking for opportunities. So, apply today. It's really quick. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us via phone or email. And, send in your application and let's get started. And I recommend doing that for your top 3 schools. But reach out today, let Erica and myself help you. We'd love to support you and get you a trip to campus. So thanks so much for having us. And please let us know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Jasmine and Karen. At this moment, we don't have any questions for Grand Canyon University, but I do want to encourage everyone who's watching to do take advantage of visiting Grand Canyon University. I have personally visited them, and it's a great campus. And if you qualify for that admission and they're willing to pay for it and take you, why not? You just might
Absolutely.
really
Good
love
point,
it.
good point.
Yeah.
It's free, so take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's free and it's not too good to be true. It's free. I've done it.
Thank you, Mariana.
You're welcome. So next up, we have University of Redlands, Kylie Mulder, who's going to present to you her campus, which is located right here in the Inland Empire. So welcome, Kylie.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Kylie Mulder. I'm the Associate Director of Transfer Recruitment for the College of Arts and Sciences here at the University of Redlands. My colleague couldn't join us this noon, Perla Ramos, and she represents our School of Business. So really thinking of two pathways that you could follow to transfer to the University of Redlands, whatever goal and objective you have for your program of study. So again, I represent the College of Arts and Sciences. University of Redlands was founded in 1907. That's the administration building. So you can see we've been around for quite some time. If you haven't been to campus, we are hosting in-person campus tours. And those are Monday through Saturday. So you could always come for a tour and hear what it's like to be a student at the U of R. We are a small private liberal arts institution, small in the sense that our undergraduate population is 2,400. Your average class size is about 18. So we really pride ourselves in individualized and personalized education. This is a place where you will get to know your faculty members very well as the students that you're taking classes with. It's also a place where I kind of joke and say you can't hide when you're only one of 18 students in a classroom setting. It's hard to not be called on, or really that we are expecting our students to be very engaged in what most of our courses are classroom dialogue based. So you have some lecture, but really your thoughts and opinions for the readings, whatever it is that you're covering in that class, is really shaping that classroom time. In regards to the transfer process for the College of Arts and Sciences, we offer over 40 different programs of study. The most popular majors for transfer students, not to be misconstrued with the term impaction, we do have space for our students to take these classes and or once you declare your major, but popular programs for transfer students this past year, communication sciences and disorders. So if you're thinking of a life of becoming a speech pathologist or audiologist, you could go in that pathway. We also offer a graduate program in communication sciences and disorders. Our psychology program is very popular, business. And then we have a new program called Health Medicine and Society that just boomed this past year and really grew in interest. And health medicine, we do have a pre-med track students can follow if you're thinking of becoming a doctor, an optometrist, or a dentist. But Health Medicine Society really opens the door for students who might be thinking of that doctor route, or someone who's really passionate about healthcare and access, whether that's here in the States or abroad. Health Medicine Society was based in our philosophy department, so has a really unique lens of what it is that you're studying, and very interrelated in regards to being able to pull from other areas of our curriculum as well. If you have been following the IGETC or CSU GE breadth, we will honor that if you will be GE certified at the time of your departure at your community college. That really will help with a very smooth and seamless transition to the University of Redlands, really allowing you to focus on your major requirements for the last 2 years if you're coming in as a junior. If you're fulfilling an associate degree to transfer, we currently accept about 13 of those degrees, many of them based in our sciences, so biology, chemistry, our accounting department. Accounting is its own major. It's not part of like a business program. They are accepting the associate degree to transfer, and you can learn more about that through our registrar's website. We are a FAFSA-based institution. Many times students will think private school equals expensive. It certainly can. And if you look at the sticker price, what we would call that kind of shocking price of tuition, we're right now at about $55,000 for this academic school year. That might deter anybody from applying, but I always encourage students, you want to follow through from point A to Z. A is applying, Z is making that final decision. But as a FAFSA institution, we lobby every year for our students to have access to this Cal Grant, so state aid, federal grant, which is Pell Grant, And then we have our own institutional awards as well. Our average transfer financial aid offer is about $43,952 for the school year. So again, very generous. We have scholarships that are based upon your academic performance. Then anything that you have to apply for, it's done at the time of the review of your application. So any student with a 3.0 or higher cumulative GPA is eligible for that scholarship, and that ranges to $23,000. $23,000 going for our high achieving transfer students, typically those with a 3.5 or higher. The average transfer GPA is a 3.2, but we certainly recommend a minimum of a 2.8 GPA. If you are a member of Phi Theta Kappa, we have a scholarship. We are now a member institution. So there's a scholarship that's for you. Again, nothing that you have to apply for, but you would certainly want to include in your application that you are a Phi Theta Kappa member. Speaking of applications, we are a member of the Common App. For Trader. Many private institutions are. So if you are looking at applying to places like University of La Verne or Chapman University, USC, those are all institutions that are a member of the Common App. And I recommend then submitting the Common application for transfers so that you can fill out that application once and submit it to multiple institutions that are a member of the Common App. There are sections that are going to be specific to the University of Redlands, but in regards to a personal statement, you only have to fill that out once and you can submit it to each of those institutions that are a member of the Common App. If you're only looking at Redlands as a private institution on your list of schools, then you can also apply using the Transfer Redlands application. No fee is associated with that. If you are submitting the Common application, you can request an application fee waiver from me. Speaking of myself, I am the main point of contact for any student who is thinking about transferring to the College of Arts and Sciences. So whether you're at MSGC, RCC, Norco, wherever, it can be throughout this entire state and actually nation, I am the main point of contact for College of Arts and Sciences. So moving into a separate pathway, but still associated with the University of Redlands, is our School of Business. School of Business really was created for students who have a lot of schedules to balance, and not only being a student, but maybe you have work or childcare, anything that is sort of making your day, I don't want to say stressful, but ways to balance all the things that are going on in your life. So our School of Business, it is offered in the evening, whereas the College of Arts and Sciences, our courses are typically Monday through Friday between the hours of 8 and 3. So really traditional time frame, where School of Business is allowing you to take one class a week in the evening, and every 8 weeks your course changes. So you have a really nice streamlined path for your degree completion within business. If you're interested in the School of Business, there's multiple campuses as well. So we have a campus in San Diego, Temecula. There's a campus in Orange County, in Los Angeles. So if you're thinking of even moving, the School of Business might move with you, so to speak. But if you are interested in our School of Business, my colleague Perla Ramos would be your point of contact. So I'll go ahead and see if there's any questions.
Thank you, Kylie, for presenting University of Redlands and your generosity within your financial aid packages. At this moment, there are no questions, but if there are, I'll go on ahead and pass them on to you in the chat.
Great.
Thank you. So next up, we have Karen with UCLA. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you so much. And we will stop the recording for now. So just so you all know, but thank you for joining me today. Thank you, Mariana.
Thank you for reminding me.
No, of course. And let me start sharing my screen. But welcome, everyone. My name is Karen Ortiz, and I'm one of the admission representatives for the UCLA Undergraduate Admission Office. So I'm here today just to give you some great information regarding admission requirements, resources, application deadlines. So we're going to have a lot of great things to cover in these next few minutes. I also graduated from UCLA myself. I love my experience at UCLA, so I'm so happy that I get to talk to you about just UCLA and the great resources that are there. So let me go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start off just by talking a little bit about UC minimum requirements. So just so we're all on the same page, I want to elaborate that UC, so the acronym UC, stands for University of California. So again, when you hear me refer to UC, I will be referring to the University of California. So I'm going to cover some of our UC minimum requirements today. So in California, we do have 9 UC campuses. So that is 9. That is so many different opportunities that you have all throughout California. So UCLA is located in the LA area. We're actually located in Westwood. Westwood is right down the block from Santa Monica. We're also very close to Brentwood, Hollywood, downtown LA. So we're in a really central location for opportunities when it comes to internships, job opportunities, volunteer work. So again, I just want to give you a little bit of overview of our location. So today what I want to do, I'm going to cover the transfer admission requirements when it comes to being transfer eligible for the UC system. So we are going to ask you to complete the minimum of 60 semester or 90 quarter transferable units by the end of spring before you transfer. We're also going to ask you to complete the 7-course pattern, which is 2 transferable English courses, 1 transferable math course, and 4 transferable courses in 2 different subject areas. The UC system will ask students to maintain a minimum GPA of a 2.4 or higher. I want to clarify that for UCLA, we will have different GPA recommendations, and also depending on your major, that GPA recommendation might vary. And I will cover that specifically on the other slide, so don't worry. So for UCLA selection, so for UCLA, we are going to look at your major. So as a transfer student, you will have to select the major for admission purposes. So that is something very important that I do want to emphasize today. And also, depending on the major you're selecting, there will be major prerequisite courses that you need to complete before transferring to UCLA. The good thing is that we have 2 really good resources for you today. So the transfer admission guide, you can find the full list of majors offered at UCLA and also the major prerequisites you need to complete before transferring to UCLA for admission purposes. The other great website that I want to refer you to is assist.org. So assist.org tells you, depending on the community college you're attending, it's going to let you know what courses at your community college will transfer over to UCLA and the UC system in general, but you do have those great resources available. My colleagues, I forgot to mention this, but I do have some of my colleagues here today. They will be sharing different links in the chat. And also if you have any questions, they will also be answering them as well in the chat. So please feel free to ask any questions and definitely make sure that you're accessing the links that we're sending. They're really, really good resources. So for GPA for UCLA, we are asking students to maintain a GPA of a 3.2 or higher. Again, depending on your major, this GPA recommendation can vary. So I highly encourage you, please access the transfer admission guide to double check this information. What is the GPA recommendation for your major? What is the major prep courses, right, that you need to complete for your intended major? Another important thing that I want to share today is that at UCLA, we do offer over 125 majors. Wow, that is so many different majors and opportunities for you to really just explore, right, the different options that you have. So we offer traditional majors like sociology, English, biology, political science. So we have a lot of different majors, but we also have specialty schools on campus. So if you're interested in nursing, theater, film, and television, if you're interested in dance, if you're interested in any specialty school, we do have a lot of different options as well. Again, the transfer admission guide has the full list of majors, specialty schools, and minors. So really good resource that I want to refer you to, but I want you to know that you do have a lot of options because we do offer over 125 majors. Before I give you any more application information or any additional admission information, I also want you to know that at UCLA, we do pride in having resources for our students. So we want to see you get to our campus, we want to admit you, but we also want to make sure that you feel supported and that you join a community where you can have access to resources to make sure that you graduate from UCLA. So that is something that we're very proud of offering resources, standards, staff that are really there to support you throughout the process of not only getting to UCLA, but also leaving UCLA, right? So we really want to make sure that we offer those resources. So today I want to talk about the Bruin Resource Center. So at UCLA, this is one of the centers on campus, and the Bruin Resource Center will help students that identify as current and former foster youth, student with dependents, student veterans. AB 540 undocumented students, students in recovery, formerly incarcerated and/or system impacted students. So again, these are some of the programs and organizations we have on campus under the Bruin Resource Center. We also have a transfer student center on our campus. So the transfer student center is a great community for our transfer students. So once you get to campus, you will be able to join a network of definitely a network of different students, but you also get different access to scholarships, advising sessions. You get different networking events. So I would highly encourage you to even start looking at the website already. They have a great social media platform through Instagram and their website as well. So again, stay connected and start learning about what resources are also offered on the campus, because these are very important to make sure that you feel supported and part of a community once you get to UCLA. So just some of the important information I want to cover. And I want you to know that these are not the only resources we have. We have a lot of different organizations and groups on campus additional from this. So on this next slide, I want to talk about the UC application timeline. So again, I want to just remind everyone that we are part of the UC application. So that means that you can apply to as many of the 9 UC campuses as you wish. That is such a good and amazing perk that you have, right? Because you're submitting one application for as many of the UC campuses as you wish. So again, definitely something that I would recommend you to look into and take advantage of. The UC application deadline will be November 1st to November 30th. So you have the whole month of November to submit the UC application. Again, the November 1st to November 30th is the deadline for the UC application. Something very important that I want to let you know is that you can actually start working on the UC application today. So since August, the UC application was available online. So whenever you have time, whenever you feel ready to start working on your UC application, you can start working on the UC application already. But again, remember the deadline is November 1st to November 30th. That is when you can actually click the submit button for the UC application. Another important deadline that I want to cover is for the transfer academic update. So the transfer academic update, known as the TAU, will be due in January. So by the end of January, you should submit at least one TAU to our office or through the UC application. And this is where you're going to update your fall 2021 grades, and you're also going to update your spring 2022 courses. Again, this is a very, very important part of the application. I cannot emphasize that enough. This is also a very, very important part of the application because we do need that information when we're reviewing the applications. So just some important deadlines that I want you to have and write down in your planner, a piece of paper, take a picture of the screen, definitely whatever works, but definitely make sure that you have these deadlines in mind. On this next slide, I want to talk a little bit about financial aid. So we definitely understand at UCLA that affording your education is very, very important. We do have a financial aid office that is there with staff that are ready to support our students, ready to answer any questions regarding financial aid. And we actually also have a scholarship resource center on campus. So those are 2 really good offices that I want you to know of because they do offer a lot of great resources regarding financial aid and scholarship opportunities. At UCLA, we are asking students to submit the FAFSA or the DREAM Act, depending on the application you're submitting. We will take those applications in consideration for financial aid purposes. So you must submit the FAFSA or the DREAM Act in order to be considered for financial aid. So very, very important that you start working on these applications as well. Also, I want to cover a little bit the cost of attendance for UCLA. So that is a very common question that we receive. How much does it actually cost, right, to attend UCLA? So the cost of attendance, just to clarify, this number that I'm going to share is going to include tuition, room and board, books, and anything in between there. So the cost of attendance is an estimated number that we create for students to know how much will it cost to actually attend UCLA if you live here, if you live off campus, how much does it cost with tuition included? So that number is around $36,000. I want to explain that this number really varies. It really varies depending on your living preference, on your living style, on how much money, right, are you spending on books? How much money are you spending on your apartment or your dorm? So this number can really vary. The tuition number for UCLA, so what does it actually cost for tuition to attend UCLA, is $13,258. And this is for academic year. Again, that is $13,258. That will be per academic year for tuition purposes. One of my colleagues will share the budget. So we do have a UCLA budget available. So that will be shared in the chat so you can get a little more information and start exploring those different options. So in this next slide, I do want to let you know that at UCLA, we do have admission representatives assigned to every single California community college. I would encourage you to visit the website and please stay connected with us. Again, there is an admission representative like myself that is assigned to all of our different California community colleges. So you're able to email them, you're able to ask them, right? Are you hosting any events in the fall? So if you have any admission questions or you want to follow up, I definitely encourage you to contact the admission representative assigned to your community college. And on this next slide, you can see my contact information. So I'm definitely here to help answer any questions. Please stay connected with us. We're here to help and answer anything that you might be wondering. So I know my colleagues answer a lot of great questions in the chat. So if you have any additional questions, please let us know. We'll be around.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, UCLA. There are still questions.
Mariana, you're on mute. I'm so sorry. It happened.
Thank you. Thank you. So thank you, Karen and UCLA team. We do have a lot of great questions that are still being posted, and we will continue to answer your questions. Are you guys okay? Want to keep going? You want to take a little, I don't know, 5-minute break for our students, for yourselves, and come back? How do you feel? Putting you on the spot.
I'm the last one to present in the circuit, so I don't want to speak for our other presenters. I don't know how Kylie and Erica feel.
I'm good to go, however, whatever makes it easier.
Okay, if that's okay, then we'll keep going.
Awesome. Let me go ahead and pull it up.
Well, we are starting, I think, our 5th circuit. Welcome, everyone. If you just joined us, we have Grand Canyon University, then we're going to continue with University of Redlands, and then we'll circle back around to UCLA. So we have these 3 presenters in our room, and they're each going to present for about 5-6 minutes with some Q&A. So stick around, and we will get to your questions as you post them.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for in. I know there's a lot of different information for you guys right now. You guys are looking to see what college would be the perfect fit for you. You are in the right place. There's a lot of different colleges, so you want to make sure you find the one that is the perfect fit for you, just because we want to make sure we know what you're looking for, right? So with that being said, let me go ahead and go on to the next one. Within Grand Canyon University, we're founded back in 1949. It's an ever-growing campus. Some individuals know GCU is an online school. I did want to let it be known that we do have a traditional campus out in Phoenix, Arizona. With that, we have over 20,000 current students in our traditional campus and over 80,000 on our online programs. Now, like I mentioned, my name is Erica. My role here is to be able to answer any questions that you may have, see if GCU would be a perfect fit for you. And not only that, but really hold your hand throughout the entire process, from being able to answer any questions that you may have, to also showing you what the online classroom looks like, to rooting you on throughout your classes and being there on your graduation as well. So we see you from start to finish. You have a one direct person contact that you can redirect all of your questions to. With that being said, what programs does GCU offer? We offer over 200 programs, and that's going to go for a bachelor's, master's, and doctorate level. So whatever you're looking for, we have a little bit of everything, whether you want to become a teacher, whether you want to finish off your nursing degree, whether you want to go into healthcare, IT, cybersecurity. There's a lot of different information. Now, one of the questions that I do see reoccurring is, how much does it cost, time to completion? And what we do is we specify that to you. So by simply sending in your unofficial transcripts from any and all colleges that you're attended, we're able to return that free pre-evaluation for you within 24 to 48 hours. This is going to let you know a couple of things, breaking it down into what you transferred in, what you have left, your expected graduation date, and of course, that net price calculator that breaks down the exact cost of everything. Now, when I speak to being able to provide that schedule for you of one class at a time, those classes will be scheduled for you. So you don't have to worry about getting the right class in order to graduate on time. Like I said, we want to see you graduate. Because of that, we have a student service counselor that will be able to assist, schedule all of your classes, and you'll be able to have that communication with them as well to see what's the next class that's coming up and when it's starting. Transfer resources. So we talked a little bit about, sending in your unofficial transcripts, what you're looking at. With that net price calculator, it's really going to break it down to what that cost is for you, right? Everybody can transfer in different classes. Keep in mind, there's no prereqs at least for online that you have to complete in order to transfer over. You're able to transfer over with what you have. If anything is needed, you're able to complete that with us. With your net price calculator, we're very upfront, very clear of what your expectations are. Because of that, we do break down tuition, books, and fees. So the entire package of what is left for your schooling, we break that down for you within those academic years. So if you have any questions, you want to find out more how to get started, the first step is reaching out to us. Okay, let us know what kind of questions you have. Let us help you, whether it be to see if GCU would be a perfect fit for you, whether it be online, or you're looking to go out to our traditional campus, reach out. We're able to assist with any questions you have. Now, I do have Jasmine with us today, and she covers our traditional campus. So she's gonna go over a little bit more specific details onto what it looks like transferring into our traditional campus and of course, visiting.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jasmine Creighton. I'm a university admissions counselor with Grand Canyon University, and I service, I'm a local counselor, so that means I live in the territory that I service, and I assist students from San Bernardino Valley College all the way to Palos Verde College. And I am a transfer counselor, so I'm assisting students who are interested in transferring to attend on the campus level located in Phoenix, Arizona. So just a few highlights that I would love to cover. We have rolling admissions, meaning students can apply at any time. You just want to make sure you're meeting, saving yourself time to apply, whether that's for fall, spring, or summer. We have no out-of-state tuition, so you're looking to pay the same amount, whether you're in-state or out-of-state. And we do offer generous scholarships based on your GPA. So as Erica mentioned, we offer the budget sheet where you can send in your information. And once we get your GPA, we're able to evaluate your credits as well as see what you're what you are eligible for in scholarships. And then lastly, we have the Discover trip, where it's a wonderful opportunity to visit campus for free. We'll fly you out. It's completely complimentary to you. And we fly you out to campus, and you have an opportunity to see the campus, stay overnight, eat on campus, and take part in a social or sporting event. So we'd love to get you on campus. We love to support you in your goals. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are a one-stop shop, so we'll be working with you throughout the whole admissions process. So thanks so much for having us.
Thank you, Jasmine, for presenting, and Karen for introducing us to Grand Canyon University and all your programs and great things you have to offer. Next up, we have University of Redlands, Kylie Mulder.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Kylie Mulder. I'm the Associate Director of Transfer Recruitment here at the University of Redlands. I represent what is called the College of Arts and Sciences, and then I have a colleague who represents our School of Business, and we'll talk a little bit more about what that means and two different pathways that you could follow in pursuing your bachelor's degree. So the University of Redlands, we were founded in 1907. We've been around for quite some time. As you can see, the administration building, we've got a really neat mix of both old and kind of new on campus, which is kind of a sight for the eyes. We are still considered a small institution. We have our undergraduate population, just about 2,400 students. We sometimes ebb between 2,500, 2,400, but currently we're just at about 2,400 undergraduates. Our average class size is about 18. So this is a place where you get connected with your faculty members. They are very accessible. We are also predominantly an undergraduate school. So for you, that means your faculty not only being in a small classroom setting of having access to that faculty member, but it also opens up the door for things like research. We only offer a handful of graduate programs, so our faculty really are here to serve you as an undergraduate student in earning your bachelor's degree. We have over 40 different programs of study for the College of Arts and Sciences. So again, I represent what we call CAS when we're on campus. This is a great fit for students who are looking at more of a traditional setting for your college experience. Somebody who can be a full-time student, so being enrolled in 12 units or more. On average, our students are in 16 units. That's because most of our classes are 4 units. We're on the semester system in that you are also able to be on campus anywhere between Monday through Thursday, between the hours of 8 and 3. If you're a science-related student, many of those labs are going to be offered only on Fridays. So a little bit more of a traditional schedule. Part of that is because we're small. So when you need that course, there might only be 3 sections of that one class that you really need. And so you're sort of bound to when those things are being offered. With those 40 programs of study, our most popular majors for transfer students, not to be misconstrued with the term impact. We have space for you in all of our classes within all of our majors, but just by popularity of what our students are really seeking or why it is that they're transferring to Redlands, our most popular major is communication sciences and disorders. So if you're thinking about a line of work in speech pathology or audiology, ComDis is what we call it, would be a great fit for you. Our psychology program is very popular for our transfer students, the sciences, and we also offer now a really unique program called Health, Medicine, and Society that really is a great foundation for anyone who's thinking of going to med school, but anyone maybe who's interested in healthcare as kind of a whole. So they will look at things like access to healthcare, whether that's here in the States or abroad. It's based in our philosophy department. So it has a really unique lens of what they're looking at in regards to healthcare and a lot of different options for our students career-wise of what it is that they might want to do. We have pre-professional programs, so pre-law, I shared one, pre-med, that are really an emphasis. And we also have a business program as well. If you are following the IGETC or the CSU GE Breadth certification sort of pathway, please know that at Redlands, we will honor that work that you have done. It essentially will blanket our general education requirements, really making for a very smooth and seamless transition to the University of Redlands. We also accept about 13 associate degrees to transfer. Many of our science majors, chemistry, biology, our business program are accepting that degree into the University of Redlands. It is a growing list. Each department on campus really has the say of accepting those degrees. Many times people think of a private institution and are very shy in regards to applying because they see something that we call a sticker price. So the cost of attendance at Redlands is going to look very high. We are a private entity. We're not funded by the state. So our tuition, again, will look really high, $55,000 for this academic school year. That does not mean that is what our students are paying. So I always encourage students really go through all the motions, kind of point A to Z, A, applying, and Z would be making that final decision to enroll or not. As we are a FAFSA-based institution, our students do still though qualify for things like state aid, so the Cal Grant, federal aid, Pell Grant, and then we have our own institutional awards as well. Our average transfer financial aid offer is $43,952. And then we also have some generous scholarships that are based upon your academic performance. Students who have a 3.0 or higher cumulative GPA will be eligible for those scholarships. Nothing that you have to do in order to apply for it. It's done at the time of the review of your application. Many of our high achieving transfer students would then be eligible for that $23,000 scholarship, those students with a 3.5 or higher. If you are a member of PTK, I know that MSJC has a chapter at all of their campuses. If you are a member, we are a member as well. We're a partnering institution and we have a $5,000 scholarship specifically for PTK applicants. Nothing again that you need to necessarily do for that award, but you do need to include in your application that you're a PTK member. We have 2 different applications that you can submit. We admit students twice a year. Again, we're on the semester system. So right now we're reviewing applications for spring semester. And then in January, we'll start reviewing our applications for fall 2022. If you are applying to multiple institutions that are a member of the Common App, that is the application I recommend that you fill out so that you don't have to fill it out multiple times and send it to those participating institutions. If you are only looking at Redlands as a private school on your list, then I would really say, go ahead and fill out the Redlands transfer application. If you would like more information, if you'd like to set up a one-on-one meeting, come visit the campus. We are in person this fall. You can contact me. I represent all community colleges as well as four-year institutions or those out of state. The School of Business, kind of transitioning to that again, my colleague Perla could not be here, but our School of Business, still part of the University of Redlands, but operates very differently than that of the College of Arts and Sciences. It is just one program. So if you are interested in, again, psychology or philosophy, English, you would be under the College of Arts and Sciences. But if business is that program that you desire, School of Business will allow you to take classes just one night a week. So it's very convenient. They map out really your 2-year ed plan. Every 8 weeks, your course changes. So you're kind of taking classes just one at a time, but in a pretty quick turnaround in regards to every 8 weeks, that class is changing. If you'd like more information about School of Business, I will drop Perla's contact information in the chat. But I'll wrap up now and see if there's any questions from those who are tuning in.
Thank you, Kylie, for your presentation. At the moment, there are no questions from students. So we'll just take a deep breath. I can't speak. Deep breath. There you go. Before we move on to Karen from UCLA.
Thank you so much. And yes, thank you everyone for joining us on this Tuesday. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning here in LA. But my name is Karen Ortiz, and I'm one of the admission representatives for the UCLA Undergraduate Admission Office. So today I'm going to give you some great information about admission requirements, resources on campus, application deadlines, and I'm also going to give you some information on how to stay connected with us. So again, thank you for joining. And before I get started, I actually want to let you know that I have some of my amazing colleagues joining today. So if you want to ask any questions in the chat, they will try to answer those questions. But again, maybe throughout the presentation, I will also answer some of those questions. So just stay tuned. So before I get started, the first thing I want to do, what we like to do at UCLA is to make sure that we're all using, or that we're clarifying what acronyms we're using. So UC is an acronym that you will hear throughout this presentation. UC stands for University of California. So in California, we do have 9 UC campuses all throughout our state. We have UCLA, which is located in the LA area. But again, we have a lot of different UC campuses as well. The benefit of being part of the UC system is that we all use one application, which is known as the UC application. And through the UC application, you're able to apply to as many of the UC campuses that you wish. So again, it's a really great perk that we're part of the same application. Something that I do want to talk about today is, what are the admission requirements for the UC system? So if you're applying to as a transfer student to the UC system, we are asking you to complete the minimum of 60 semester or 90 quarter transferable units by the end of spring before you transfer. We're also going to ask you to complete the 7-course pattern, which is 2 transferable English courses, 1 transferable math course, and 4 transferable courses in at least 2 different subject areas. The UC system will ask students to maintain a minimum GPA of a 2.4 or higher. I want to clarify that for UCLA, this GPA recommendation will be different, and also depending on the major that you're applying to for UCLA, this GPA recommendation can definitely vary. So we'll cover a little bit more of UCLA specifics on this slide. I just want to start off by saying that UCLA is located in the Westwood area. So we are located in Westwood. Westwood is literally down the block from Santa Monica. We're also very close to Brentwood, Palisades. We're local to downtown LA, Koreatown, Hollywood. So we are very central to a lot of great cities, in LA. So what I always share with students and also as an alumni of UCLA, is that being in this location in Westwood, it really allows you to get internships, to volunteer, to get different job opportunities. So again, something that I do want to share about our location, but for UCLA admission purposes in selection, well, we do look at your major. So as a transfer student, you will need to select a major for admission purposes. Something very important that I do want to let you know today is that depending on the major that you're selecting, there will be specific major prerequisite courses that we're asking you to complete depending on that major. Two great resources that my colleagues will share with you is the Transfer Admission Guide. So the Transfer Admission Guide has the full list of majors we offer on campus, and it actually also goes over the major prerequisites depending on that specific major that you're selecting. We also have assist.org. Assist.org actually is a website that you can use. It tells you what courses at your California Community College will transfer over to UCLA and the UC system. Again, two great resources that I want you to have available and bookmark on your computer. The other thing that I want to mention is that for UCLA, we do ask students to maintain a GPA of a 3.2 or higher. Again, I want to clarify that depending on your major, that GPA recommendation can vary, and the Transfer Admission Guide has all of this great information. So I want you to definitely access that and make sure that you're looking at this different information for your own reference. I also want to share that at UCLA, we do offer over 125 majors. So that means that you do have a lot of opportunities as an undergraduate student, and these are undergraduate majors. So I do want to clarify that. So we offer over 125 undergraduate majors for our students. As a transfer student, you can apply to any of these majors. So you really do have options. We have majors in the college like sociology, biology, political science, Spanish, English. So we have a lot of those majors that are more known. And we also have a specialty schools on our campus. So if you're interested in nursing, theater, film, and television, if you're interested in dance, so those are some of the majors that we also offer. Music, we also have a music major. So again, we do have a lot of different options, and the Transfer Admission Guide is your best resource that I can refer you to, so you can really explore those different options. Additionally, I also want to talk about what are the resources that we have on campus for our students. So at UCLA, we do pride in not only providing you admission resources, right? We also want to make sure that you are successful, that you're able to graduate from UCLA, and that you feel part of a community once you get to campus. So at UCLA, we do have the Bruin Resource Center, which provides great resources and services for students that identify as current and former foster youth, student with dependents, student veterans, AB 540 and undocumented students, students in recovery, and formerly incarcerated and or system impacted students. Again, this is the Bruin Resource Center. We also have a Transfer Student Center on campus. So the Transfer Student Center will actually provide resources for our transfer students once they get to campus. They have different mentorship programs, job opportunities, networking opportunities, and you're really able to be part of that transfer community once you get to campus. So I just want to make sure that you're aware of the resources that we offer once students get to campus as well, because we really do want to welcome you and make you feel like you're part of the UCLA community. And these are just two of the centers. We have a lot of different offices and staff available to support you through your process. I do want to also mention some really important application deadlines. So again, I want to remind you all that through the UC application, you're able to apply to as many of the UC campuses as you choose. The UC application deadline will be November 1st to November 30th. So that means that you have the whole month of November to submit the UC application. Again, from November 1st to November 30th, you can submit the UC application. You have the whole month to click that submit button. The really important thing that I also want to emphasize today is that you can actually start working on your UC application today. So after the fair, if you want to go to the UC application website and create your account, start working on it, you definitely can. Just keep in mind that November is when you actually can click the submit button. So very important. Another important deadline that I want to cover is the Transfer Academic Update, the TAU. So the Transfer Academic Update, you will have to submit at least one by the end of January. If you're applying for fall 2022, you will be basically updating your fall 2021 grades, and you're also going to be providing your spring 2022 courses. Again, the TAU is a very important part of the application process, so please make sure that you're writing these deadlines. On this next slide, I want to talk a little bit about financial aid and resources offered at UCLA. So we do have a financial aid office with staff ready to answer any financial aid questions that you might have. The financial aid website actually has a lot of great resources. It has videos, publications, they have a calculator as well. So they have such amazing resources that I really want you to access. We actually also have a scholarship resource center office on our campus. So two great offices that I want to refer you to. At UCLA, we will look at the FAFSA or the DREAM Act application, depending on what you're submitting for financial aid purposes. So again, it's very important that you submit the FAFSA or the DREAM Act application because that's what we're going to consider for financial aid purposes. Something that I do want to touch on today is the cost of attendance. So you're probably wondering, how much does it cost, right, to go to UCLA? So the cost of attendance, this number that I'm going to share with you, this includes tuition, room and board, books, transportation. So basically this number is an estimated number that we have created that encompasses all of those different areas. That number is around $36,000. So again, the cost of attendance includes tuition, room and board, transportation, books, and that average that we have is $36,000 per academic year. Tuition, so the actual tuition number, how much it costs to go to attend UCLA is $13,258. So again, that is tuition. I want to just elaborate on that and explain that because I know that when I was applying to UCLA, I had no idea what the difference between cost of attendance and tuition was. Cost of attendance, it's really going to differ depending on the student, depending on how many roommates you have, on where you're living, right? Are you living in the dorms? Are you living in an apartment? Are you commuting from home? So that number is really going to vary, the cost of attendance, because of those different factors. But again, that's something that I do want to explain. I would encourage you to access the different links that my colleagues are sharing, also the financial aid website for more information. So I also want to share that at UCLA, we do have admission representatives assigned to every California community college. So if you are wondering, who can I contact? Who is the admission representative assigned to my community college? Please access the website on the screen and my colleagues will also share it. But we do have admission representatives ready to answer any of your questions. If you want to clarify anything about major prerequisites, if you have any admission related questions, please access the website and contact the admission representative assigned to your community college. On this slide, you can find my email, and my contact information. Again, this is my contact information, but I would encourage you to also contact the representative assigned to your community college. I want to thank you all so much for attending this portion of the presentation. It has been great being here with you all today, and I'm going to pass it over to Mariana.
Thank you, Karen, and the UCLA team for being so great at answering all those questions with great links that students can follow up on those and get lots of good information. UCLA does provide a wealth of information if you just follow the links that we posted on the chat. I don't know if we'll have time to do a whole nother circuit. So I thought, why don't we have more of I'll ask you some questions and we'll have GCU, then University of Redlands, and then UCLA answer them. And I have a set of questions for you guys if you're ready, sort of like a panel version. And of course, our students that are still with us, please continue to post your questions and we will answer them as we have been doing. Okay, and if our students have a question that would be great for the 3 campuses, that would even be better because ultimately this is for you, right? So I have one question here. What would your students say is the best part about attending your campus? What would students say? So we'll go ahead and start with Grand Canyon University from the online perspective and of course from the day campus as well.
Definitely. Online comes in so handy when we have working individuals, right? So I think one of the best why students love it is because they're able to complete what they need to complete within their own time. So those classes are from beginning to end, right? There's an end date and a start date, but because we make everything very repetitive in a way of when it's due and what it's due, it's a lot easier for those working individuals to be able to finish that goal that they initially started and couldn't finish. So I believe that's kind of the process of being able to do online, why they join online, and because we're able to help them from beginning to start, so they know exactly who they're speaking to.
Yes, and I would say if you're looking to attend on the ground campus, there's always something to do. The campus is very beautiful. It's huge. The amenities are newer. There's always building going on. You know, we have 4 different pools. We have our own bowling alley. We have club sports. We have intramural sports. We have the rock climbing wall. We have the fitness centers. And then there's always like off-campus excursions. As far as academic wise, you know, we have the smaller classroom sizes. We have tutoring, of course, on campus. We have the wellness center on campus. We have the chapel on campus if you're looking for more spiritual nourishment. There's a lot going on. I often hear students say it's a very large campus, but it has a small feel, and they don't feel like they're going there and they're getting lost, you know, within the process. And then students are, you know, if you're looking for something that's similar to home but not home, you know, it's a really great place to be nearby. So you're a flight or still short drive away from, you know, your family. So
one thing I will add, I'm in Southern California, so I'm not in Arizona, but when I do attend the basketball games, that if anybody wants to know what it's like to be a part of GCU, attend one of the basketball games.
yes,
Whether they're traveling or on campus, you will find out.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Grand Canyon. We're gonna go next to University of Redlands. Kylie Mulder, what would your students say is the best part of attending University of Redlands?
I think it's community, and part of that is, again, just the fact that we are a small institution. We're also a residential campus, so 70% of our students live on campus, and whether you choose to commute, there's just a lot of activity going on throughout the week as well as the weekend. Having students from out of state, they might sort of explore, but it's never a ghost town on campus. And so I think students really feel connected in a lot of different ways. Again, just accessibility to your faculty members, being in small classes. So I would say community and finding sort of the right group, whether that's through student organizations, leadership, Pride Center, and Multicultural Center. So I think there's kind of a space in place for all of our students.
Thank you, Kylie. Real quickly, what's the student to faculty ratio that students can, since you mentioned it, have at University of Redlands?
It's 12-1.
Excellent, thank you.
I think it's my turn. So I want to share that for UCLA, I actually graduated from UCLA myself, so I can also give you a little bit of that student perspective. I was a world arts and cultures major, so I graduated from one of our specialty schools on campus. I want to say that honestly, attending UCLA, you join a worldwide community and network. Just being in a location like Westwood in the LA area, you really get the opportunity to network, to find mentors, to really explore your career options, right? And I think that's so important as undergraduate students. What are you going to do next, right, with that degree? And I think you have a lot of great resources on campus, but also off campus in the surrounding areas. Also, honestly, I would describe UCLA as active. That's the word I use. Active meaning that our students are very passionate about a lot of different subjects. They're doing great things to change not only their communities, but the world. And also being part of a campus like UCLA, you really get amazing professors, you get great staff, and just being part of a community that wants to make that change and have research opportunities. We actually have over 1,000 clubs and organizations on our campus. So if you want to be involved in something, there's probably a club already on campus. If not, you can start your own club. That's something that I always like to share. You can start it on campus, you can create another club, but we do have over 1,000 student organizations and clubs. When it comes to the faculty and student ratio, we like to say it's around 20-1, so 20 students to 1 professor. This is a really common misconception that even I have myself. I came from a very small high school, around 120 students per graduating class. And then I was going to attend UCLA, a big public university, right? And I was like, how many professors am I going to see if I'm attending this big university? And actually the student to professor ratio is 20:1, because even our bigger lecture halls, so if you're attending a big lecture hall, you will actually have smaller discussion sections. And your discussion sections will be around 20 students max, maybe a little bit more, 20, 22 students, where you'll be able to meet one-on-one with a TA or the professor. A TA is a teacher assistant. Let me clarify, a teacher assistant or a professor one-on-one. So again, I think UCLA just have a lot of opportunities and you join a community and a network.
Thank you, Anna. That is such a misconception. You're right. We think of UCLA as like 400 or 500 students in your class, right? So to hear that your ratio is 20, that is amazing. That is awesome. So that's pretty similar to, I think, what students would experience at a community college and what they're used to for the most part. Thank you for that. Our next question is, do you have a transfer center or commuter lounge? And I know UCLA has already presented on that, but please feel free to expand on that or give us a link if there's a link to your transfer services so that students can perhaps get connected early on. And we'll get started with Erica.
Awesome. We don't have a satellite center out in Southern California. When it comes to online and when it, covering the territory that I do out in Southern California, which is the Inland Empire, it's not so much of a hub, but I go to people. So whether it be school districts, hospitals, community colleges, teaming up with my team members like Jasmine, we're able to go to you where you're at to be able to discuss those opportunities.
Yes, and I for the ground campus, I did post information about our transfer center. It's going to be more online services because we are able to, meet you where you are. But I did post that, and I posted some other campus resources that are available that students can go if you're looking for supportive resources, tutoring, wellness support, things like that. So I posted both links in the chat for you all.
So just to reiterate on that, because as soon as Jasmine said, I was like, oh, we have a lot of different online resources for our online. So I was thinking more of so online resources, we have like writing hubs, the Math Center, tutoring. We help you enroll for those tutorings that you may need. We offer like APA formatting when you're at paper. That way you're not having to format it. It's something that there's a lot of, when it comes to that, there is a lot of different resources that we help you with. And when we're showing you that online set, actually walk those resources so you're not left alone to being able to find them. I show exactly where you can find them.
Hey, thank you. And I believe University of Redlands just posted their transfer success coordinator, their contact information. Kylie, can you tell us more about your transfer center or commuter lounge on your campus?
So we have what's called our transfer student success team. So again, being small, but mighty in regards to helping transition our students onto campus. And again, feeling like there's a space in place for them. The transfer student success team is made up of myself. So helping a student from point A at new student orientation. And then our student affairs department really takes over in regards to the events that we offer that are specific to students, transfer peer mentorship, and then our dean's office plays a role as well. So that academic component is really huge. Grand Canyon hit it on the head when those common questions that we get is, how will my classes transfer? What's the cost? And so that, how are my classes going to transfer once you're at the institution? That question doesn't really disappear because then you get that major component brought in. And so you have this hub of knowing who to contact and having sort of a direct centralized space. We also offer a commuter lounge on campus. It's by our men's basketball court in what is also a shared space with outdoor programs. But it's a great spot to sort of go to. There's lockers. So if you don't want to keep things in your car, you can bring a lock. Kind of sounds like middle school again. I don't know if middle schools have lockers anymore, but you have a place that sort of safe to put things in so it's not sitting in your car all day. And someone there really loves coffee because there's not just a coffee pot. There's a Keurig. I think someone was trying to raise money for an espresso, but it's a good spot to hang out.
Thank you, Kylie. I can see how espresso would drive people in. We all need coffee.
And for
Karen,
UCLA?
Sorry, go ahead, Karen.
So yes, definitely. For UCLA, they talk a little bit about it, about the UCLA Transfer Student Center. Honestly, it's such an amazing community. Pre-pandemic, when you would walk in the building where the Transfer Student Center is located, it was a very active, very fun community. There's a specific office where it's located, and students can walk in. Anyone can walk in. You don't have to be a transfer student, and I think that was so amazing. They actually did have coffee, they had cookies, but also the really amazing thing is that they offered different support services. So they would sometimes bring in a financial aid officer. They would bring a advising counselor, and you would be able to meet with those counselors in the center. So that way you don't have to go out, right, of the center and try to look for the offices. They would have certain office hours within the transfer center. So I know that was something really great that they used to offer. Another really, really amazing program that the Transfer Center offers is called the Transfer Transitions Program. Transfer Transitions Program, yes, that's what it's called. And basically that is a program that allows newly admitted transfer students to attend this free program where they can really transition to UCLA. So they learn about resources, they learn about programming. They really have a lot of different great events to help you transition to UCLA. So those are two of the amazing things that I can think of from the Transfer Student Center. Also, I shared the transportation website, something that even I took advantage of when I was at UCLA. We have a lot of great reduced rates for passes. So if you are interested in the TAP card, right, for the Metro bus, the blue bus, the green bus, all of the buses in LA, I know all of the buses, if you want to ask me, definitely do so. But we offer a lot of great discounted fares. I miss it. I miss it when I was a student. I was like, wow, this is such great rates for the different public transportation systems that we have in the bus passes. So we do have that as well. We do have a lot of different lounges, study lounges, and libraries on campus. The hours will vary depending on the week and depending on the lounge, but we do have that, and I'll send the link over as well. So we have a lot of great resources for our students.
So I have to say that when I did visit UCLA, I did pass by your transfer center, and Karen, it is amazing. You guys have all sorts of workshops to help students transition, to get acclimated, because as transfer students, you gotta get to whichever university as a junior, sophomore, junior, depending on which institution, right? And you gotta hit the ground running. And it's so important that you connect to your transfer center at whichever campus you're attending and access your services so that you can get all the support that you need. So thank you for all that great stuff. And Jasmine, students are seeing your post. I am transferring it over to the live chat, so you're good. Okay, so the next question I have for you guys, does your campus provide services specifically for DACA undocumented students? And if so, please share a link. So we'll start with GCU.
Do you want to take this one, Jasmine?
Yeah, that's a great question. To be honest, I know I previously worked with a student that had DACA status, so I would like to say yes. I don't know if anything specifically, but if that applies to you, please reach out to me so that I can get the correct information over to you and get you started. But yes, I know in the past that I have worked with someone needing assistance. So the answer is yes. I don't have a specific resource, but I can get that to you if that applies to you. So please send me an email and I can make sure I get that taken care of for you.
One question is where with GCU really quickly, does GCU offer on-campus courses in the San Diego area?
On-campus courses?
Yes.
So we do not. We only have a location in Phoenix, Arizona. We don't have any satellite campuses at this time, but we do have, the online classes. So that way, if you're interested in still being a GCU student, you can do it, from the comfort of your own home.
Thank you. And we'll move on to Kylie from University of Redlands for resources for undocumented students.
So yes, and part of it can be the financial piece. So obviously making sure students submit their application in time to be reviewed for the financial aid component. This is not probably applicable to those in the room, but perhaps students who have siblings that are in high school still, I really recommend, if you are looking at Redlands for a financial component as an entering freshman, there may be some more aid regards to DACA for an entering freshman than there might be for a transfer student. But in regards to support, we have first generation programs, and that really will help in regards to cost once a student is there. We have a summer bridge program, book lending programs. There's a program called Train where you have, again, kind of their first year and helping you kind of transition as well. So we do offer support systems as well as the financial.
Thank you, Kylie. Next, UCLA.
Yes, we actually do. And I touched a little bit as well. It is under the Bruin Resource Center. So the name of the office is called the UCLA Undocumented Student Program, USP. Again, we have a lot of acronyms, but that is such an amazing support and resource for our undocumented and AB 540 students. DACA, you can really find the support through this office. They have a lot of great events as well. If you follow them on social media, and their social media is available on that specific website that we send you, then you can actually follow them on Instagram. Even if you check the Instagram now, you're going to see the great resources, scholarships, networking nights. They literally have so many great things for our students. So I would definitely encourage any of you that are interested to check out the Instagram. But the Documented Student Program does have attorneys and lawyers available for our students. They have staff that are there to support, and they also hire student workers. So I know they have student workers as well that are ready to support and offer any programs. One of the programs that I can think of that they offer is that they have like a library, a book library, where you can rent or borrow books from the office. I know this was pre-pandemic. Of course, I don't know how it's going to work with the pandemic and after as we transition back. But they did have that great resource where students were able to borrow books from each other, trade books. And that was such an amazing thing when I found out they offered that program. But again, check out the Instagram for more information, but just know that we do have a center and an office dedicated to support our students.
Thank you so much, Karen, and everyone. Last question, and if you can put a link in the chat box, that'd be great. What kind of scholarships do you have specific for transfer students? And again, you can post the link, then I will pass it on to our students for them to have. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, we offer very generous transfer scholarships. It's really cool. I love talking about it because we award them just purely based on your GPA. So if you knew your GPA, you would know what you're eligible for in this scholarship amount. And I will post that link. That way you can kind of see the range between the GPAs. So again, there's no essay requirements, there's nothing. As soon as you submit your application and your transcripts, we would be able to give you that that scholarship. And it is renewable.
Yeah. For our online programs, it's a little bit different. It's going to depend on how much you're transferring in. Even if you're not transferring in a lot, that's when we seem to be able to offer more of a scholarship to assist with that cost. Because we have a lot of representatives all over, we partner with a lot of different community college, hospitals, businesses, organizations. So even if you are an employee at one of those, sometimes just by being an employee at one of those places, you are eligible for a scholarship opportunity. So we love getting to know everybody one-on-one, seeing your scenario, where you're at, and what we have to offer you.
I don't have a link because the scholarship is awarded once a student actually applies. So a student doesn't have to apply for the transfer scholarship. It's based upon academic performance. This is also why we require official college transcripts. We do not base our admissions decisions off of self-reported information. So think of your official college transcript that you request to be submitted to Redlands for review as maybe your application for a scholarship.
Thank you, Kylie. And Karen from UCLA.
Perfect. And yes, Jessica did share a great link for the financial aid website. The other one I want to highlight is the UCLA Transfer Alumni Scholarship. So we do have a scholarship for transfer students through the Alumni Scholarship Center on campus. I actually was a recipient of that scholarship when I was a student. I entered through high school, so I do want to clarify that. But they do have a transfer one as well, a transfer specific scholarship. The great thing about joining the Alumni Scholarship is that you don't only get the scholarship, you also get to join a community and you get to network with different alumni. They have specific events for students that are receiving the scholarship. You either have like networking nights. I know they have like different like luncheons, you get free food. They have a lot of great opportunities for the students that receive that scholarship. So we'll send the link. It's right there on the chat. I'll send it over. And then also we have the Scholarship Resource Center. So I don't know all of the scholarships we offer on top of our head, but we do have the Scholarship Resource Center as well. They have a great website where they list all of the different scholarship opportunities, internal, but also external opportunities. So I will also share the link as well.
Thank you so much, Karen. Thank you everyone for sharing your resources. It's been great to have you here with us and to share with the students from the Inland Empire, your universities, all the great things that you offer, your programs, the things that students can expect when they get to your campus, and opportunities to connect with you guys. Thank you so much. At this point, I don't have any other questions in the chat, other than just thanking you for being here with us. For those students that are still watching us, if it's okay, I'm gonna share my screen just so that I can show you that after the fair. So the same way that you connected to the fair on the Google site, right? And you went to your specific room, here we will also post the recordings under each room so that if you missed it or you just want to come back because you didn't get to go to a specific room that because of time or whatever the situation is, the recordings will be listed here. You can also, if your question was not answered, not just here in this room, I think we answered just about every question that was posted, but you can click here and you have access to all the reps that signed up for the fair, and you can contact them directly from this website. So I just want to make sure that you were aware that that exists for you, for not just this room, but the other rooms that were available. And again, thank you for those that attended. I hope you got some great information. I know I did from being in this fair. And thank you, Grand Canyon, University of Redlands, and UCLA for spending some time with us, and the students at the Inland Empire. So thank you very much. And everyone have a great day and a great week and a great transfer season. And don't forget, students, to connect to your transfer center at your campus and apply on time and connect to these universities. Have a great one, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having us.
Bye.
Bye.